everybody's doing that. Where did I just put my iPad? Oh, I think I put it over here. Here we are. There it goes. Okay. Good morning. I'm here. Ding. I heard a ding. What did I hear? Ding. Oh, shoot. Okay, hang on. Hopefully this doesn't mess anything up. There we go. Okay. Whoo, almost forgot to put that on. Do not talk to me mode. Okay. Okay, so I guess we're starting the morning with Rump Shaker. With you. Okay, I think we're good on volume, so that can go over there. I swear I just ate, and yet I am hungry again. Good morning, everybody. I got my coffee. Showed off in my stories how I do that. Though I really need to buy some more chocolate syrup because it's good. It's good. It's like latte good, but it's not I love you latte good. Oh, I did not charge this last night, did I? I got $3. That should be good. So Saturday we were working on that feels loud. Hang on. Saturday we were working on a couple of Twilight Travelers, and I'm in the last bits of crunch time. So pretty much I'm just going to have a few lives coming up where I'm mainly working on production. Morning, Cynthia. Not sure if Oma was on yet. So there might be starts and finishes of stuff. But the good news is that I had cut out 4 Twilight Travelers using the very similar method of having a panel for one side. So I pretty much am where I stopped just about with the Baldur's Gate ones. And I brought them in so I could show y'all how they came out. So I love that I did 2 Baldur's Gate, but I did them with different styles. So here's the chibi style. There we go. Y'all, everybody okay? We're good. Okay. So here's the chibi style panel. As you can see, there's no tag on it. It's just all panel. So it's pretty much like a showpiece. It came out so cute, Cynthia. I'm so happy with this. I'm also really happy with the fact that I went ahead and I cut out the matching. I had already cut out the same for both of them. And but I went back and I was like, no, I really want to match Chibi with Chibi. And so this has, instead of a pocket on the back, I went ahead and did a just like a quick slip pocket that's got kind of that hiddenness to it. Hi, Katie's. We did the handle on top, so you still have a grab handle for it. And I did I chose rainbow hardware so that I could use these fun pulls. And I just adore how wide this bag opens. I've got the strap inside. And I did decide to do different pockets for the inside. I'll show you. I haven't quite put together the ones I'm working on. So there's the chibi version. And see, my husband loved that I did a chibi version and a more what he called the live action version. Because this was more his aesthetic, where the chibis are totally my aesthetic. I like anything tiny and adorable, or chubby and adorable. That's why I love my husband. But I did nickels so that I could do these D20s with a dragon on them. Let's see. There you go. They both have the similar, or both have a red tape, but that one's a darker red. And then again, so I had cut 2 bags worth with this. So I do have another bag that I can make out of this, but I really wanted to match things up as much as possible. Like this pocket isn't like completely hidden, but because of the design, it does kind of meld into it. And I really like that. And it's like I said, the pocket goes to about here. I've got my name tag on the back for both of them. This is, I keep forgetting to ask her. I've got to ask Beauty and Geek about this because I need more of this vinyl. It's got this really interesting smooth texture, and the brown looks like leather to me, and I love that. So let me show you the insides that I've decided to do. Put those over here. If you hear crashing, it's my cat. It's Charlie. He's being my bright boy. Okay. So what I have for us today is a has-been and a Demon Slayer panel. So of course I did. Again, I love Cosmic for the stacked designs, because even if I don't line it up exactly, which I wasn't worrying about that. I was just, because it was a last second decision to add a pocket like this instead of a pocket like that. It still kind of just muddles together enough that you really don't see it. This one, of course, would be a little bit more obvious because of that, but I'm not trying to hide this pocket. I'm just kind of making it subtle. It's there. It didn't roll really well on its stealth check, but it rolled enough that your eyes might slide over it. But I used gray for the inside of the Demon Slayer, and I put, for that, I'm rooting for you tag. And that's because it always feels like we're rooting for, I almost said Deku. Woo, mixing up my animes. Don't put me in anime jail. But no, we're always rooting for our main character in this. And just how much it's hard not to love him. He's just a sweetie pie. He loves his sister so much. And then for this one, I put a pink "You Look Pretty Today," because it just feels like, good morning, Oma. I'm sorry. I saw you and I went to say something and I got distracted. But it always feels like Angel would love to hear that. He'd love to open a bag that says "You look really pretty today," because he go, I know. And it's something that it feels like something that Charlie would say to somebody all the time. You look so pretty today. The gray interior, I love the gray with the yellow. Oh, it's been so beautiful. So normally what I've been doing is putting 2 zipper pockets on. Excuse me. Ooh. I've been putting 2 slip zips. The problem with having too many pockets inside is that the pockets start to squish everything, because I'm discovering that with my coupe, because my coupe has like all the pockets, because you know me, I love a pocket. But if I put something in here, so I put that in here, and then I put stuff into this pocket, and then I've got stuff in the other pocket. See how it's bulging out? Yes, of course, this is a stuffed animal, but y'all know I have some kind of stuffed animal in my purse, right? You know it's a thing. So I decided, let me take out my Bridgerton hand sanitizer. I love that stuff. Oh, it smells like shortbread. So what I've done is I've done one side with the zip and slip, but on the other side, I did a simple slip pocket, but I divided it so that you have a place for pins. Girl, I love a pin pocket. I absolutely love a pin pocket. But see, this is wide enough for your hand to go all the way in, and then this is perfect for putting in pins and such so that you can keep those straight. So I think I like this best, and it showcases the tag a lot better. Did I put please help me remember to put my zipper pulls on. I love pin. Oh yeah, Katie, pin pockets. I could survive on just pin pockets. Sorry, I'm just making sure that so I put the slip pockets on the back so that when you're opening up, you normally, you're going for a pen or something anyways. So this is the side with the subtle slip and the regular slips, and that way it goes up against your body. Hey, Salty. Oh, okay, Deborah. Nice. $4.09, huh? And then I put the zip and slip on the main panel. This way the weight kind of gets distributed better. You know how I am about weight distribution. All right, let me put panels up. So these panels are all ready to go. Again, this is based off of the Twilight Traveler by Scroll and Turquoise. I always want to say lavender. I don't know why. I think they're going to do so well at the convention. And I'm just like, anything I can get done with Has Been and Baldur's Gate, I know is going to sell. So that's kind of what my main focus is. And I've got a couple backpacks cut out. Well, sort of cut out. I'm going to put massive quotations on that cut out thing. All I really have is this one cut out with that beautiful stacked. But I did maneuver it so that we have a Sassy Angel pretty much right in the middle. And then the Apothecary Diaries, because this, I've seen like everybody love this. So I'm like, yo, I ain't got enough time. I got to sleep sometime. Plus, I found a new pattern that I want to do for Aaron, for him to have a sling bag. So I need to do that. I need to make sure that I have, if I'm having a bag, but I don't, I have my giant con bag. So I'm probably just going to do that one. Okay. Oh, okay. I just got to stop for a second. Hold on. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm getting overexcited. Like way overexcited because this is my last week to sew. A certain Aunt Flo has come to visit and has been really weird. Like I've had no pain. And I don't understand. I don't know if my body's like, just give her a break. I mean, I've been dealing with my foot as it is. It's not as swollen, but I need to remember to ice it. So that's been fun. Oh, yeah. And Aaron talked to one of the managers at the water company, and they reimbursed us for quite a bit. Plus, they took off the late fee that we did have on there. Because, yeah, when something gets shut off, I panic and I just pay. Yes, I will be live Saturday. We have, let me get it. Let's see. I need to put like a paper calendar in here or something. But thankfully I have. Okay, so today's the 14th. Technically I have a doctor's appointment on the 19th, but I'm going to move that after. No, leave your sister alone. But I'm going to move that after the convention. I don't want my medicines getting messed with or adjusted before the convention because that usually drops me out for at least a week. So today's the 14th. So I will be live on the 17th. That's that Saturday. And then the 21st and the 24th. So the 28th, I believe we're going to be packing everything. Packing everything up. So I'll probably go live for a little bit, answer questions while we're packing. You'll get to meet Erin more formally. And then that Saturday, I'm definitely going to go live so that we can answer some questions and you can see how. What I might also do is Saturday, towards the end of the day, I might go live again and take y'all around a couple of the floors. Maybe every day I'll take y'all around the floor because it's so many vendors. I just don't know if I want you to hear the squealing that comes from me. Cynthia, yeah, my foot is a lot better. It does not look pretty. There is bruising. There is so much bruising. And so one of our friends works at Circle K, and we've gotten to know her over the last few years. And she was talking to Erin because she's moving. And he was telling her about it, and she's like, oh, well, she hasn't unalived anybody, right? And he paused. And she kind of got this look on her face like, what? And he's like, no. But she went to destroy a box and the box was full and she didn't realize it. So she destroyed her foot instead. Literally, if you get to a point where you're so overwhelmed with anger, find a cardboard box and just decimate it. It releases a lot of anger. I promise you. It's actually something that my therapist had me doing when I was younger. Temper runs in my family, so acknowledging is only the first step. Cool, but don't overwhelm yourself. Yes, it's overwhelming no matter what, because this is about the part where I start going, but I wanted to make this, but I wanted to make that, and it starts to go like really downhill fast if I'm not careful. So I have to be very aware and present of what I'm feeling so that I don't get overwhelmed. And Erin is already, starting to help me plan out some stuff. So that's working really nicely. He wants to help and I want him to help. Did I only take out one of, not that smart sometimes, y'all. Unless I dump some on the floor. Nope. Okay. So, because there's a lot of things that I need to do. I'm going to have helpers at the booth this year, my brother and sister-in-law. So I need to make sure that I have everything uploaded to the shop so that they can just sell from that. But that also means taking pictures. So it's going to take us at least 2 to 3 days. Let's go with 4. It's probably going to take us about 4 days to go through everything. So what I plan on doing is just kind of sitting with some movies that we've seen before and having that background noise. So there's going to be that. Yeah, it's like some folks that have never done a show. I've only had a couple people go, it's just a show, calm down. I'm like, okay, first of all, don't tell someone to calm down. It's rude. If you really want to try to portray that they need to breathe for a moment, ask them if they've done any breathing. Oh. Calm down. When has it ever been a good idea to tell a woman to calm down? Do I want to use these thin ones? No, I need the links for this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. For some reason, because I needed rainbow. Where's the rainbow? No, I'm nickel and I'm sorry. I'm What you doing down there, buddy? Nope. Here we go. Nope. Hang on. I just need 2 D rings. Oh my lord, my knee. So, I haven't told Erin yet, but I plan on cutting out a bunch of itty bitty bugs, or yeah, the little backpacks, because I always bring a sewing machine with me, like a domestic, and I know I can sew them on a domestic without too much issue. So I'm kind of planning on cutting out a bunch and sewing in the at the booth and at the Airbnb. I don't really sleep well during the convention. The first night I do, I sleep amazingly, and that's because I'm just, exhausted. I am so tired after setting up. I'm emotionally, mentally, and everything drained. And this year, after we set up, um, I'm going to be in a. We're doing a Starfinder thing. My friend Zeus wants to really do it. I'm like, you know what? I don't ever do anything at the conventions because I'm so tired. Let's do that. All right, so we're at the part in the bag where I've got my zipper panel. It's all done. It's all trimmed up. It's very demure. What that nonsense is. I saw that in the video. I'm like, oh God, what now? But it's very demure, very mindful. I actually love doing my zipper panels this way because they just come out so nice and straight. Okay, so the way I've done these bags is that I create the extension and then I'm adding a handle. So I need to find all the things. And there they are. Ta-da! I found all the things. So for the Demon Slayer, this is the other vinyl I'm trying out from Beauty and Geek. I'm gonna let her know to definitely let people know that there is quite a stretch. There's a bouncy stretch. So you do want to be wary of that. Like if you don't want it stretching weird. Like I don't know if I would quilt this one without Decoville light behind it. Um it so far the seams have been fine. So I just think it's gonna like it doesn't like stay stretched though. It does have a nice bounce back, so that's good. But oh my lord, y'all, it feels like glossy suede would feel. It's so soft. Like it definitely I'm tempted to like take a couple of scraps and just sew a chunk and put it on a key ring and keep it on my bag so when I need it, when I'm feeling anxious. Thank you. When I'm feeling anxious, I can just kind of like touch it. I have that oh, thank you, Twyla. I think I'm gonna do a tiny live to show y'all how for the subscribers. Look at what I did with my scraps. They are so cute. I love this. Haha, it didn't get me this time. But I really think these are going to sell nicely too because it's just a quick grab. I'm just trying to decide 5 or 10, because it's not really a wrist fob. It's just more of a grab and go, like you can put it on a hook type thing. But yeah, it's literally like when I calculate the cost of it, I don't really have to calculate the cost of the vinyl because they're the scraps from, they're the scraps from when I cut out from the, oh Lord, bend and snap. This is that window. So it's just a nice, easy scrap buster. I don't feel like I'm throwing away a chunk. I mean, this is a 1.5 by 7.25 piece of vinyl. That's a lot of vinyl to throw out. I mean, I couldn't even get myself to throw away this. This is where I cut out that pocket on these that I'm working on. So I cut it out with the zigzag scissors with my pinking shears, and then just went over the other side with the pinking shears. So now it's got this little like zigzag on it. So I can just sew this straight onto some webbing and make another, bam, little key fob. It's just a little grab keychain. So I love it. And I have so many scraps. So I figure I'll do a subscription live today. So if I finish these up, I'll probably go to subscription live after that. Oh, maybe. We'll see. Definitely so that I can show it a little bit better. Okay, so this is the handle for that. Oh, I do need to do the handles. I like doing the handles first. So for the top, you need 4 rectangle rings and 2 D rings. And that's because the extender has you doing a rectangle and then coming up to a D ring up here. I have the D ring in between, so it's still at the same measurement that you do in the pattern for just that extender. And then I've got this to hold the handle, and I am putting a rivet down there. Oma, am I putting boning in? Yes, I am. I forgot to put the boning in for the Hungry Boy that I did with the Eldridge, but it's holding up really nicely anyway. So I'm going to see how it does. But I think it'll be fine. But for this, yes. But I usually put the boning in after I attach everything so that it kind of creates that channel for it. I'll show you when I get to that. So I'm going to put all that hardware aside. Actually, here we go. I'm going to put all the hardware in my baby no face. I'm going to drop part of it. That way it's out of the way. Where'd you go? Why? Okay, here we go. Boop. Okay, but for the handle, I'm going to give you the measurements for the handle because it's my modification and it's not in the pattern. So I did a 12 by 2 inch piece, and I didn't prep these at the table for some reason. So we're going to do that now. I do want to let you know, I have some chalk in my store. It works really well. However, I will say I had some trouble getting this blue chalk off of the waterproof canvas. I had to really scrub for one of the markings. So it's good for marking. I would just kind of keep it in the seam allowance or where you're not going to see it. Or not see it because you use blue on brown. Yeah, I knew I was taking away the handles of the bag, which I do like the way the handles are done. This will be the method that I use when I'm doing a panel. Because I might go back to doing, what was I thinking? So I might go back to doing the 3D pocket and doing the subtle pocket on the back if I'm not doing a panel. Ow. Sorry, I might have to go take some medicine. Foot's starting to hurt up a little bit. It's not been bad. I've been able to walk on it and everything. I just it's just hurting a little bit. It's a little bit on the achy side. Okay. So I've got 2x12. That's a good idea. I think I'm gonna have to pick up a magic eraser, and I'll see if that works too, because that wouldn't be a bad idea. A magic eraser is not a bad idea to have in your cart. Like I have antibacterial wipes that I keep for when I end up making a mess everywhere. I can quickly wipe it down. So I'm folding in my raw edges. Ran out of my allergy medicine, so I got to go get that today too. We can pick up some more ibuprofen. Oh, I see a siren kitty on the top of the car over there. So you can see that it's kind of doing this wavy thing, and that's because I pressed down and kind of scooched in different directions, so it's kind of doing this. Cut in half for twice as many. Oh yeah, definitely, because you don't really need a whole one at a time. Probably even cut it into fourths so that you're just kind of doing that. I have also, by the way, seen some folks use the magic eraser or makeup sponges to put the edge paint coat on. Morning, Bo. So to get rid of this curl, I just take my seam roller, I almost said ripper, and I just go down both sides with it and then down the middle. It should straighten it up. It's not really going to matter, to be fair, because the ends that are curling a little bit are going to get folded under. So, I don't know what it is. I have more followers on Gram, but have more people watch me on the clock. Stay there. I don't understand social media. I'm just a small business trying to get by, trying to figure this nonsense out. I have some projects planned after Dragon Con. One of them is a pattern. I've got two in mind. I've already started doing a couple of prototypes. I just need to do a couple more. And then I have to figure out how to digitize the patterns and then find people to test it. There's a reason that I do try to buy patterns not on sale. I love a sale, but like Ororosa, I will usually wait. If I can, because I'm always impatient for that new pattern. But if I can wait, I will wait till it's not on sale and buy it at full price, because it's so much work. It's so much work that these folks put through. I really love when a pattern designer has a free pattern, so you can try out their pattern language, because everybody's pattern language is a little bit different. I'm just gonna trim this edge. Boop. Like they wanna live in everybody else every once in a while. Whew. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to put another piece of tape straight down the middle. And I'm actually not putting the tape here. I'll show you. I'm not putting the tape all the way to the edge. See? I'm not putting it all the way to the edge, and I'll tell you why in a second. Let me get the other one done. Stay tuned. What your double-sided tape isn't telling you. Freaking 90s news. Go. Okay. Put that away. Where's my... So, for Demon Slayer, I'm using that gold that I used for the apothecary bag. It looks really nice because it's this yellow gold. Where am I? I'm trying to find similar shears to this that I can link to y'all because I know having a good pair of zipper scissors is good, as these are gardening shears. Okay. Go. We got you taking care. Oh, well, I'm going to need you for the other thing too. And then for Has Been, I've actually got this really cool glow in the dark striped. That I know it's like stripes on this pattern, but I couldn't help it. I just love the thought of them having a little glow in the dark action going on. Plus, honestly, it was the only one that I felt would match it. Silver one stick. Oh, good, because I need it again anyways. Boop, boop. This is technically, it's considered a candle lighter, but I use it as a thread zapper, and then I discovered that I could also melt or weld the edges of zipper tape and webbing, and it seals it really nicely. I have to be careful because this is cotton mostly, so it needs a little bit of extra love, but it welds it really nicely. It's also rechargeable. It's in my TikTok shop, or it's in my Amazon shop. There we go, which is in my link tree in the bayou. Okay, I can put those away for the moment. Move my needles out of the way. If you have an industrial machine, by the way, I think I put them in the shop. These are from Tiger. I got 100 pack of needles for like $15. Yeah, Mama, it's I got it on Amazon. And this one that I recommend that I use is in my Chubby Bunny recommends. So the reason I didn't put the tape all the way to the end is so that if I have to trim something off, I can reseal those edges. And all I'm doing right now is just kind of running my fingers along the sides. There we go. To keep everything even. Now, if you feel like something's peeking out a little bit, remember your stitches are going to flatten these edges. And having a little bit of peek through is not a bad idea. I think it's kind of cute. You honestly could cut this at like 1 3/4 or 1.5 and have it smaller than your vinyl, which is what these end up looking like, because I don't have a full 2 inches of scrap. So it's a little bit smaller, but it has this nice accentness to it and almost looks like it's piping. It's like a faux piping technique. Okay, there we go. Gotta love being anemic times. Here we go. I thought about, I really went short on that one. Hang on. Cut the webbing just a smidge short. It's not that big of a deal because it's going to be folded under. Here we go. There we are. I thought about doing the handle folded in like that. But one, it felt a little bit too backpacky without it being a backpack. And two, it just, when it's like this, it doesn't sit the same. Because it won't sit like this. It'll sit like this or like this with it. When you do those handles, it's best to have it flat to achieve a faux rolled. The double-sided tape is a great idea. Thank you. Oh, you have a Juki 8700. I think those will fit. You would have to look at your number, but they had a lot of different needles, and they came in this little pack. That one's open. They came in with this little container and just packed like this. And I will say I'm already really impressed. They're so nice. And having a lot of needles reminds me that I need to change my needle more often. I'm very much, I dislike that I'm very much in the club right now of the only time I change a needle is when it breaks. The needles are also on Amazon. They should be in that list as well. Should be in the operative word. If they're not, I can put them on real quick. That's not too big a deal. I figured out how to do that. So I'm not in love with this webbing, which is why it's not in the recommends. But that's why I will never put anything in my Amazon shop that I have not tried and liked. If I don't like it, I don't put it in there. So if I'm like, oh, this, I haven't really finished trying it out, or like I've sent back 3 soldering irons because I didn't like them. They didn't stay hot. They're kind of useless in that way. Because I always try to find an affordable option, both for y'all and myself, because, y'all know I love a good sale and a good deal. So I'm going to go 1/8 down the sides of the handle. Probably only going to go across one side of that. Maybe we'll see. All right, on to the next. And what I'm doing is I'm putting my my middle fingers at the top near the foot, but not under it. Please don't put your fingers under your foot. It's a bad idea. And setting it so that it guides it. The back 2 are to keep it steady, because if you just do this, there's a good chance it's going to wobble around and your stitches aren't going to come out as nice. You also can get one of these, if you have the ability, one of these honking magnets, and just kind of hold it there. I happen to just like using my nails. 1, they're pretty. And 2, I paid for them. I might as well use them. I actually do use them kind of like an extra set of tools. I have to be careful when I get towards the end that I don't I don't accident it kind of likes to flop around. It likes to fishtail, so I'm gonna be careful of that. Okay. You also have a couple of options if you don't want your ends to show. You can put strap ends on it. I usually don't worry about strap ends on most of the things. It's an added a cost additive, and I try to keep things a little bit, like I said, um, on what I think can be affordable without uh, taking down my worth with it. Plus, it's going to be underneath. It'll be fine. But I will never begrudge somebody that wants to put extra hardware because they think it's pretty. Do it. Just make sure that you put that cost into the bag. Don't worry. Somebody's got the same matching bougie heart and wants that too. That is not a problem. Okay, so now I've got that. I really love this yellow on it. It looks kind of old Western. And she sent me some interesting colors of this. She sent me this brown, the other brown, and then she sent me a really soft gray that I think is going to work nicely for the bag I have planned. But that looks really nice. I love that coloring. Okay, so that's our handles. We can set those aside. Ooh, we get to play with the soldering iron too. Like I said, I've yet to find one on Amazon. So the one I'm using is a cheap one that I don't even remember where we got it. All right. So where? No, I don't know why I put those away. I need them. Come here. All right. It's going to be fun because I'm hoping my rivets are thick enough. Otherwise, I'm going to have to kind of play Frankenstein. I'm already going to have to do that. I know with this and something, especially this maybe. No, that's actually kind of squishy. It's a little squishy. That's actually not too bad of a thickness to go through. All right, let me see. What do I need? Yeah, I'm going to need the blue for this. Okay. And these measurements I'm not going to give you because these are her measurements in the pattern. So I can give you the modified of the top though, just not the first square hook. So I'm doing 9 inches for the strap extender. Okay. So what you need is 2 handle holders, is what I'm going to call them. And then 2 ring holders. Okay, so you need those 4 pieces. These 2 are measurements in the pattern, the rectangle ring holders. These are measurements for mine, for what we're going to do here. So I'm going to put that away. And then we're going to do the same over here. Where are you at? Like I'm using the blue chalk right now because I know it's going to be hidden, the marks, so I'm not overtly concerned with them. Okay. 20. Here we go. Okay. Again, I've got those 4 pieces. Move that out of the way. And I'm going to start melting these. Madre. It's stuck to my shirt. So yeah, be careful. Make sure you don't touch it right away. It is hot. It is melted. Oh, hey, Mona. I know you're saying hi to somebody else. I didn't see you come in. I might have also, shoot, I could have answered you like what I did before. Please be careful. This is literally fire. We're literally melting stuff. And I'm not blowing on it to cool it, by the way. I'm blowing on it to get any fumes away from my face. What? Who said you could do that? What is this day off you speak of? No, that's really good. Take a day off. I'm thinking I'm going to have to soon. But it's hard for me to just sit. There you go. I was like, oh no. Oh no. I got an email from Techni. The chairs are on sale and my kawaii chair is on sale. And I'm like, I want it so badly. But I have to wait till after Dragon Con because I have to put a hold on any I'm not going to say selfish purchases because even Aaron agreed that wouldn't be a selfish purchase. It would only be selfish if I got the kawaii one and not just one that was, $100 less. But honestly, I'm gonna tell you all the price. It's $250, and that's the on sale price. But I'm sitting in a Technique chair right now that's lasted me 5 years. I've never had a chair last me that long. Hey Shay, good morning. All right, so I think I've got everything singed. Yeah, it's another reason I'm not going to probably go with this webbing is that, as you can see, it really singes. So if this was going to be anywhere you could see it, I'd be like, nah. It's an ecranite. It is actually. You're not wrong. And he and I kind of hemmed and hawed about it, and then he was like, "But you want to order some more sublimation stuff?" I'm like, "Ah." Hello from the UK. Let's see. It's afternoon for y'all over there, isn't it? I don't know. I'm bad with timetables. I don't understand time. I don't understand time zones. I do and I don't. I barely remember. I remember the US ones because I've lived in each time zone multiple different times, so that helps. But yeah. Oh, I need tape again. Okay. 2 p.m. Oh, that's not too bad. That's when my husband gets off work here is 2 p.m. I get to go pick him up. And then we go to Joanne's. And I think we're going to get some smoothies. Because I've got to exchange out some grommets. Oh, y'all, I finally figured out what I want to do with this purse. So I'm going to put a grommet here, a big gold grommet here, and one here. I was thinking 2, but then you would have to do this, and I feel like that would limit the use of the bag. So I'll put one here and one here, and I'll use the chain. I'll put I've got some really pretty hooks, like jewelry hooks that I can put on here. And then on this side, I'm going to use the D-ring to connect Where'd you go? Ah, nope. Maybe. There you are. Nope. Ah! Too much stuff in this bag already. So what I'll do is I'll take a piece of vinyl, either the pink vinyl or the angel vinyl, and I'll connect these to it. So it's got kind of this shoulder strappy thing going on, but it'll still have the pretty chains. I was showing Aaron, he's like, too bad they're not heart shaped. I'm like, listen, I bet you Bruce could make me heart chains, and then now I'm just making Sailor Venus purses. Let's not start that nonsense. He already wrote it down in my dream hardware book. And I'm like, you're mean. Why? Why are you helping? Do not add to the madness. Subtract from the madness. All right, let me get little face out here. All right, so we need those two. And I am using yellow thread, but I still think I'm just not going to worry about. I'm just going to use some tape to base these together. I'm also trying to find somebody that will do snips. Not like snips, but like I want some of these. These are what I use to cut my double-sided tape and nothing else. Mainly because they will cut nothing else. Yeah, I think that's going to work out. I know I've been sitting here going, I've got to figure something out because there's no way I can't take that purse. Oh, that's a deep ring. John told me that was a deep ring. So we're going to take our tiny pieces. I like using webbing for this type of thing. I know it might... I know it could end up looking better with actual vinyl, but the vinyl I would want to use would be the main vinyl, and then it's getting lost and muddled. This breaks up that thing, and it's also thin, so it's not going to add a lot into the scene. Go, Jewel. Hit that note. I love Jewel. Okay, so we've got those. You can like stitch a box or anything, but these are going to be pretty close in there. If you don't want to, throw them on the ground. If you don't want to use tape, what I do is I just go straight up and then straight back down. Nice sturdy stitching. It's barely going to be noticeable because you're not going to be able to get right up to that ring anyways, but you'll probably be able to get up to the stitch length, and then it's really basted down nicely for you. Where are you? All right, where'd you go? Oh my God, it fell on the floor and the fairies took it. Mother. Ah! I tried to give it to me. Bastards. Let's see you. Okay, so I've got those. Let me go ahead and get these done too. If you want to use tape but keep it out of the seam allowance, remember not to go all the way to the edge and make sure you're going straight in the middle. This one doesn't really matter if the ring can move. It's going to be stationary. Ah, I love it. It's technically a candle lighter, but it's so cool. Zeep, 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 zeep. I love it. So useful. All right, let me get these rings on. But yeah, it doesn't matter if these are moving. I know like Lauren doesn't like when it can't move freely, but in this case, it's just a bridge, and the bridge not moving is fine. In fact, usually you don't want the bridge moving. All right, there we go. Please. All right. This is where it's going to get fun. So let me get these because we're going to need tape on everything here. Okay. So these are the strap extenders. This is what allows your bag to have such a wide opening, but sit properly with I gotta stop holding scissors and waving them so close to my face. I know I make y'all nervous. I'm sorry. I don't mean to. Okay, so we need a couple pieces of tape. And I'm just going to put them along the edge, hopefully. So what I like to do is I'll put the tape, a long strip along, there we go, like that. And then just go through and clip it. I just have to be careful that when I do that I don't clip me. Because yes, I have done that and it hurts. Oh, it stings so bad. Like, I know something like the tearaway tape. I've just not had any luck with it. I mean, the tape is fine. Bloody hell. Hang on. Sorry. It's just, it's not that the tape isn't good. It's that the tearing part, I end up, over tearing. I'm going to need that again. I don't know why I put it up. Okay. So now, okay, let's do that this way. I'm still working on the best method to do this where I'm not, because I can't baste this down yet because I still need to put the boning in it. And I can't just go ahead and put the boning in this part because it'll curve everything up and distort my measurements. So it's like, all right, how about you go over into the cauldron? There we go. All righty. What are we doing? That's what we're doing. So get my, because I'm using the anchoring as a channel, I want to make sure that in between my top stitching and the anchor and stuff is at least 1/4 of an inch because that's how wide it is. But I'm going to go about 1/2 inch from the inside of my zipper. That is a different measurement than she uses. It's not a bad thing. It's just a different measurement. I almost put the wrong ones on though. You're letting me mess up, man. What's going on? No, I'm kidding. But I am going to mark 3/8. That should be fine. Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay, so I'm going to mark 3/8 from the edge, the bottom edge. Yeah. So right there. So from this edge up, I'm doing 3/8. Sorry about shaking you. Okay, I'm gonna move those over so I don't put them on wrong. No. So the reason I'm not going to base these on is because of the fact that I'm going to be putting that boning in and I'm going to need it to be able to lift up so I can see where everything's sitting. So I'm going to clip baste. I'm going to line that edge up. I'll put the dang ruler away. With having the just I'm gonna do it this way. With having a connecting thing like the handle, you really want to make sure that everything is the same measurement. There we go. The same distance away so that it doesn't look lopsided. or like that. Okay, so I've got that one clipped. I'm going to come over here and clip this one. Kind of want to go from the bottom because otherwise your ring is going to be in the way from your measurement. There we are. Okay. I'm lining up my marked line with the bottom because that's going to give us a little bit of extra stability in that hook. Because we're not going to sew down. Well, I'm not going to sew down any of the connectors or that. So I need to make sure that everything has that extra bit of stability. On my way to work, I was backing out of my driveway, my phone connected to my car. Oh no, I'm so sorry. That does remind me of the gaming that we did the other night. My friend was using, I guess, a new headset, and he was fiddling with this box cutter. And after an hour of him going up and down, what am I running over? That would be crunchy. That's kind of the sounds. That's actually the sound it made when I accidentally ran over my zipper helper. So I feel you on that. But he didn't even realize either that when he was eating, the loud crunching was super, super loud. And I'm like, never mind. Nope, never mind. Just gonna let it go. Alrighty. So where are you at? This is where I'm still kind of experimenting a little bit, but I'm going to mark the middle. Actually, that's a good idea. I'm going to mark 4 inches up on each side. I was doing 8 inches, but I was having to put space anyways. So because the rings were really thick, so I was having to kind of adjust. Oh my God, him fiddling with that box cutter. Finally, I was like, Zeus, please, for the love of what is left of my sanity, stop that. I know why he was doing it. And that's why I hated the thought of being like, you got to stop that because it's annoying as all hell. Because I know why he was doing it. You know, it's an anxiety thing and it's a fidget thing. I'm like, can you find a quieter fidget toy, please? Also, maybe one that's not sharp. Okay, so what I have done so far is I marked 4 inches on each side and I have folded over through this first loop up to that line. Where's my tape? I'm going to put a wee bit of tape. Like I said, we're not going to be sewing this, but we are going to be using rivets. So you do want to be mindful of that. I'm actually going to put another piece of tape right here. I'm using a soldering iron to install my rivets, so I don't have to be as concerned. But if you're, just using a punch, you do want to think about those things. Okay. So there's nothing that's going to be connecting on there. So we're just going to go ahead and get that stuck down nicely. I'm going to make sure that it's still a 1/2 inch away. Now, I have to be careful, and you want to be careful if you're using a thin webbing. Morning, Alice. Alice, I am finishing up 2 Twilight Travelers with modifications. So I'm on the gusset part of it. I did start 2 different Travelers on Saturday. And this is kind of a continuation, but with different travelers. So it's, witchcraft. That's what it always feels like to me. We're having fun with webbing, but when you have really thin webbing, it can kind of get distorted when you're laying it down. So you definitely want to make sure that you're taking a moment not to adjust. That's why I'm kind of using extra tape right now. I want to make sure that it's sitting nice and straight. Okay. Mark, stop talking and put music on. Good Lord. I don't pay for Sirius because I want to hear talking. All right, so now I need a D-ring and a square ring. We're doing it this way because of the fact that you don't want to use a square ring to attach a swivel clasp because it can start to pull this way. So it's like this, it'll start to pull at a corner and it'll start to wear down any stitching or anything like that, and it can eventually rip. So we want to put our D-ring on first. Come on, you. Get on the, there we go. And then our square ring. So I'm going to take this little piece of tape off. Make sure it actually fits on there. And I'm going to put everything. So I'm just folding it around the square ring only right now. And I'm putting it to that other mark I did. Let's see how that feels. That should be. So it's 4.5. Okay, that works. Think about your final, the length you want, but remember that you are going to have displacement if you have chunky hardware. I love chunky hardware. It just looks so substantial and nice on a bag. So I do use chunky hardware. So I do have to think about that accommodation. Let's see. So I usually just remember my measurements for my rivets. So I'm going to do the first rivet. I'm going to use a heat erase just in case. Let's see. We do 1 1/4 from your folded edge of your handle strap extender. So I'm doing 1 1/4. Then still from that mark, I'm doing 2 1/4. Look at that. That looks good. I'm pulling my D-ring out so that it's not in the way of measuring. And then I'm doing 3 1/2 or 3 3/4. Let me see. Yes. But let's move up that mark. Okay. 3 1/2 then. That's 2 1/4. How about 2 3/4? Okay, yeah, that. Or do I want 3? I think I want 3. Okay, so I am only doing 3, and I'm gonna have 4 marks on this one because I adjusted things. Let me do that. I'm still adjusting. Hang on, because I might have over adjusted for the chunky. Okay. Oh, that still works. All right. Actually, that works better. So, final measurements. 1 1/4 to 3 to 3 3/4. Okay. I'm going to ignore that one. Where's my... There we go. You can get rid of heat erase markers with this too if you're super careful. A lighter is most likely better. Nope. Hubby dropped in and then had to drop back out. Poor baby. Okay. Now you want the two top to be kind of close together so that they're holding that ring in place, because that's what's going to hold our ring. Now you could sew this. You just do a little box, and then I would still put a rivet here because it would be hard. If you really want to sew it and you don't want rivets, you're going to want to pull down your ring, your D-ring, do a tiny, like 3/4 inch box here to secure your square ring. Then move your D-ring up against those stitches and sew your other box. That is not a problem. Do what you're most comfortable with. If you're using webbing and you're like, I just don't like trying to punch through, let me introduce you to the soldering iron. Give me just a hot second because it is crazy good. But I do like that. Okay, I think that's going to work out nicely. So what I'm going to do is, because that's kind of flopping around now, and you don't want these flopping around when you're trying to use your soldering iron. Where did my scissors go? There they are. I know Kayla of Carolina Little Stitches bought one that she really likes. I just have to see which one she got, and maybe I'll try that one out. Again, I'm trying not to spend $100 because I know a lot of y'all do this as hobby, and if you do it, even if you don't do it as hobby, it's expensive. All right, and then I've got a little bit of lift there. There you go. Because this is such a thin webbing, don't get me wrong. Just because it's a thin webbing does not mean it is a bad webbing. It is just a thinner webbing than I prefer, though it does have the advantage of being thin so that I don't have to worry about using longer rivets. I'll be able to use the ones that I have with no problem. Come on. Lord have mercy sometimes. There we go. Sometimes getting the paper off the back of the tape is the hardest part. Get up there. But I'm just making sure. There we go. Because when you're putting the soldering iron through, you don't want everything to have all that loosey-goosiness. Okay, so this is what it will eventually look like. So that the handle is going to connect here, and you're going to have your be able to put your strap connecting there. All right, let me get the other side. Okay, so we're gonna go through with all the changes that I've adjusted. So we're gonna measure up 4 inches on one side and make a mark. We're gonna take that side and we're going to loop it through our rectangle ring. We're going to line up that mark with the bottom of the webbing. Actually, before I do that, because it seems silly to sit here and fight with stuff when it's... Where'd my scissors go now? There they are. There you go. There's something that's going to be sewn here, so I'm going to put it right there. Again, if it's touching the ring, it's not going to matter. It's a bridge, not a... So it's not going to matter if it moves or not. So we're going to match that up. So if you want to put a longer piece of tape on that, you're more than welcome to do so. I'm just going to push those together. Get another piece of tape. If you have tape that you don't like to sew through, this is the time to use it. And I say that mainly because of the fact that you're not going to be sewing through it. So this way you're using up some of that tape. I had some tape where I was like, well, this was kind of a waste. This feels like a waste of money. I need to figure out a way to use it. We're going to make sure that this is nice and straight. So I'm going to put my ruler down. I'm going to tug lightly to keep it nice and taut. And then make sure to keep it nice and straight. All right. So far, so good. While I have nothing on here, I'm going to go ahead and make my marks. And that's because the marks have nothing to do with anything else on here. It's all going to be with the measuring. So 3 3/4, 2 3/4. And it's going to feel, and then 1 1/4. It's going to feel weird if you do this. Because like right now I'm like, are those really my measurements? Trust my own process for the love of God. Oh, let me get out another D-ring and another square ring. So again, so we've got our marks. We're going to put the D-ring on first. Actually, hang on. I'm going to put a little piece of tape on a couple of these spots. Because if I'm going to be doing it anyways, I might as well put it on now where it's not. It's going to be there. And that's going to be there. Okay. So we're going to put the D-ring on, and we're going to push that all the way to the other side. Or, well, you know, as far as our tape will let us. We're going to take off this tape. And I'm going to take off this tape. Because then we're going to take our rectangle ring and put that on. We're going to wrap this around. And we're going to pull it, and we're going to match it up to that mark. Which I believe is going to be like 5 inches. Yes. Okay. And we're going to take off this piece of tape. And still making sure that everything is lining up nicely. Push that down. Ta-da! It's amazing how fast I can go when I'm not going, am I sure I want this here? All right. Now this is going to sit in a little bit of tape, and that is perfectly fine. Because if it's pushed up, it just means that it's not flopping around. To be honest, I don't mind that. I think it'll be fine. All right, so I'm going to set that one aside. Whew, one done. Time is it? 9:30. Okay, so let's do this one real quick. Okay. To find it. Okay, so we got that one. Right, where'd you go? There you are. Go. Do. Oh, sorry about that. Oh. I found these protein shakes. They're also supposed to be like a meal replacement. So I was thinking of trying those out. And the only reason I haven't just yet is because the last time we did protein shakes, they really did a number on my stomach. And that's when we started to think I was becoming lactose intolerant, because my mom is. I'm going to go ahead and add some extra tape like I've been doing. That way that's out of the way. Come on. Actually, I'm going to put you right there. I'll put you right there. I'll put you there. And I'm going to put you... Oh, that works too, I guess. I flipped them over. I only flipped over one. But it's supposed to kind of help with I don't like appetite suppression too much. Because my body will take that and run with it. And I will go at least a full day without eating anything. And that's not healthy, especially for a diabetic. It was really bad when I tried doing something like that when I was younger and my body was producing too much insulin. I was hyperglycemic, which the doctor said it was only a matter of time that my body would switch over to diabetes. Thanks, parents. I think I got that. So this is the inside. That's okay. Cool. Let me do a couple marks. Since so lonely, even my mom thinks that my mind is going. But I will say I am a wee bit on the weary side of feeling hungry all the time. Yeah, protein shakes can be rough. This one's more of a meal replacement, so it doesn't have like as much protein in it, and it's only got a couple grams of sugar. So I was thinking that might not be bad. It won't. So it's not supposed to suppress. It's just supposed to kind of help with making sure that you're not like unhinging your jaw at lunch and just letting it go. Like yesterday, I got to the point where my breakfast just wasn't doing it, I guess. And lunch came around and I ate a mini pizza and 2 bags of chips. And then I felt sick for like an hour. It was actually kind of cute because I laid down because I just wasn't feeling good. And Tiamat like let me cuddle her and even purred a little bit. And she does not do that except when I'm sick. When I don't feel good, she is right there at my side. Any other time, I am chopped liver. I'm the bitch that puts kibble in her bowl, and that's the only thing. I'm the side piece in her eyes because she loves Aaron. Like that is her man. That she is daddy's girl for sure. Which always cracks me up because the moment he is home, about 15 minutes into it, she is meowing at him. Daddy, this happened. And Daddy, the boy was mean to me. Daddy, I was just trying to take a nap and she wouldn't stop rubbing my belly. So weird. Because I even went like later on yesterday in the evening, and I rubbed at her belly and I loved on her. And she just gave me the look of this, mom, this is why I don't let you love on me too much. You're doing too much. So I've got my marks. I've got my tape. I'm going to put the D-ring on and then put on that. I'm going to take all the papers off. Okay, so I'm going to scooch this down here. You have to be careful. This is a much thicker webbing, so I don't want it to fight me too much. Good Lord. I just kind of want it to meet up with those edges down there. There we go. That's better. Making sure everything lines up. This is why I didn't put the chalk, though. I used a heat erase marker, and that's mainly because of the fact that I didn't want, this is white, and I didn't want it to smudge around. Oh, yeah, Alice, the look was this, Mom. This is why we don't get along too much. I'm probably going to have to adjust my marks a little bit. Like I said, this is a thicker webbing. So the displacement's a little weird, is a little different, but it'll be fine. I'm still going to do the same markings, and then I'll just adjust as I go. All right, here we go. Let me get the last bit. And the no face is empty. And I still have my zipper pulls out. Please help me remember to do these. I will cry. I know I will cry. Okay. Yeah, this one. Okay. Nope. This is my side. This. Yep. Okay. Alrighty. So I'm going to push that up to its mark. Yeah, normally I don't use this much tape, but I've just noticed that when I don't, I have to concentrate more on making sure everything doesn't shift than the soldering iron itself. And when something is, 200 to 300 degrees and can melt webbing, you might want to concentrate on the fire stick more than your webbing in that. So this just means, ooh, that I put that too far down, didn't I? Oh, no, it's right there. Okay. Remember, you haven't really as long as you haven't basted anything, you're still fine to move stuff around when it comes to this. It feels like that's too far over. Hang on. And it is indeed. So I'm going to scoot that. There we are. Okay. And then we're just going to pull this up, readjust that. It's another reason why I like using the tape right now is that I can readjust it. There we go. That's better. Okay. Somehow my D-ring or my or I could just throw the trash on the floor. That works too. Somehow my rectangle ring connector got misadjusted. And you need to make sure that you're at least 1/4 of an inch from your D-ring or from your ring when you're putting a rivet in. Otherwise, it might fight you a little bit. So D-ring first, rectangle ring, remove tape paper. It's going to be a little... There we go. Okay, this is definitely going to end up interfering with the D-ring. That is fine. So what I'm going to do this time then is I'm going to go ahead and put it towards... Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. I need to be able to move the ring. So I'll just do that. You want to be able to move the D-ring mainly so that you can punch right next to your rectangle and then shove it all the way over and then punch the closing hole too. All right. Woo, I'm sorry, I know that takes a hot second. Now, because the soldering iron is hot, I like to kind of get everything set up properly. Are these custom orders? No, they are not. These are for my show coming up with Dragon Con. There. There we go. I make quite a bit of inventory because it is it's a 4-day show. 2, I do really well at it. But I've been going there since 2018. So I'm on, this will be technically my 5th year because I did participate in the virtual one. This feels not straight. Hang on. There we go. All right, just double checking. Okay, that looks much better. So what I'll do is I'll attach these. Watch clip explode. It's that thick vinyl or thick webbing. See, I thought about leaving it untethered and just riveting these two, riveting the handle itself. And there goes the other one. So we're not going to be putting clips on this because apparently this is what happens. We'll have an in more memorial later. Because then it would be kind of like this. But I'm not 100% sure. What do y'all think? Because right now, the way I've been doing them is where it's clipped down into it, it's not loose. I think if it's loose, it'll tug at these rivets more than I really want it to. I think I'm just going to keep going with this because it does have a nice heftiness. If it was a longer bag, it might work better. Or maybe a longer handle, but I think it works best the way I've been doing it. So we're going to do that. Okay. That means I need tape. Tape for everything. Okay, so here, here, here. So everything to me. Oh, it's right there. I was like, I'm missing a piece of tape already? Yeah. Didn't. Here we are. Okay. I'll get this one ready too. What I'm hoping the tape does is just hold it long enough for me to create the hole. Should be all the tape. This one should be a little bit easier to work with because the webbing's thin and the vinyl isn't as thick. This isn't a super thick vinyl, but it's got some substantiability to it. And then I've got this thick vinyl or webbing on it. I'm going to do that one second, mainly so that I don't destroy any more clips. Okay. This is probably one of the longest processes for this bag. Only made a little longer because I have to be a pain in the butt. Okay, so I'm taking off both papers, double checking that that feels good. Okay, so first I'm going to go probably a little more than an inch, not by much, not quite a quarter of an inch. Make sure. I keep putting my ruler away and it just seems dumb. Okay. So there's one. It's at the schoolyard. You. Come here, tape. Oh, it'll be time to bust out the vacuum. So, fun thing is that the last day of the convention is actually on Monday for Labor Day. There we go. Yeah, that feels good. Ta-da! Okay. And Tuesday, I think, is when we're checking out. So Wednesday will be my first full day of coma, where I pretty much sleep. Thursday, I'll end up creating a list of customs that I need to get done and other things. I took some pre-orders for stuff too, so I'm going to need to get that taken care of. Need to make sure that I order everything that I need. So when Thursday will be a productive office day. And then I will end up, come on, you, through the ring, please. And then I probably won't end up sewing really until like Saturday for the live. But that Wednesday, I might not even be. I might come on to talk over how Dragon Con went, to have you guys help me make some plans. But yeah, Wednesday's going to mainly be Diabloing and sleeping. Because conventions not only physically drain me, but they mentally and emotionally drain me. I get very overstimulated at Dragon Con. There we go. Ta-da! And there's that one. Oh, I love the glow in the dark vinyl. All right. While I'm fiddling more with that, we're gonna get. There you are. Mother of God. Really? Okay, so this right now is the soldering iron I'm using. It is a wired one. The reason I don't want a wired one is because it just will feel safer to me to have one that's wireless. I am extremely excited. You know, it's Saturday or Wednesday. We might work on cutting out your bag, Twilight. Maybe that's what we'll do that Wednesday. Get your bag, I'll get the test bag cut out and then figure and go from there, because I want to make sure that if there's anything I want to change. Oh, of course I did. Sorry, hold on. I unplugged my phone. There we go. Okay. So if you are using a wired one, which you can get one at any hobby store, a burning wood tool is good. You just want to make sure that you've got like a tip on it, like this tip. I think it's like a stiletto tip. And that if you use one with a wire, that you don't wrap your cord. You want your cord to be laying flat all the time so that it doesn't, when you've got it sitting, the cord doesn't pull it in weird directions. If you've ever straightened your hair or used a curling iron, you know what I'm talking about. That thing will yank it, will yeet it off that table, no hesitation. So I have a place that is pretty secure that if it does go to fall, I know how to get it uncorded really fast. So while that's heating up, yeah, I think it would be really neat because I want to cut out a Kirby one, a really cute Kirby Duncan bag. And that way I can figure out what I want to change. It's a Sincerely Jen pattern. So I know there's things I'm going to want to adjust, but that is not on her. That's a me preference. There are very few bags that I don't change something. I like certain things from certain bags. What I'm doing now, by the way, is I'm clipping the edges. So that way it doesn't shift this out of the way. Because it's cut just right, because I trimmed it, I don't want to lose any of that. So that one's done. Yeah, see, even the thin isn't going to stick. Yeah, that's so bouncy. Okay, what was I doing? I got distracted. You know, like I do's. Like I do's. Oh my lord, I'm gonna have to get a handful of cashews over here. Once I get this on, then I'll get the boning on and finish the gusset up, and then we'll be at final construction. Final construction. And this is where you want, before you go poking holes, this is where you want to make sure that everything is sitting where you want it. If you're going to sew, it's still the same. If you're sewing it down, it's still the same thing. You want to make sure that everything is where you want it to be before you go throwing holes down. So I've got my rivets. These are emergency rivets that I got from Joann's. So they're a smidge smaller than my normal, and they're definitely shorter. I know there won't be any problem with this bag, but I am concerned on what I'm probably going to have to do with this bag, with the has-been, because those are only 6mm posts, and I usually do 8. My rivets are normally 8mm or 9mm rivet with an 8mm post. I did accidentally, and thank the gods I did, buy these extra large ones that I think have a, it is big. But what I did on the other 2 bags, because I did find that vinyl was really thick for these, for both of my rivets, actually, even my rainbow ones weren't long enough. What I did was I put the post, because look at how big that post is. Where's one of them? Let me compare it to my normal, though. That's another thing I'll be doing Wednesday, is going through inventory to figure out what needs to be ordered, what am I out of, because I am going to be out of a lot of stuff. Okay. Madre de Dios, will you just stay on my finger? Okay, so there's the large, and there's my normal. Let me put them over here. Here we go. So see, it's a good bit taller. So I put this through the bottom because you're not really going to see because it's on the top of the zipper bag. And no, I'm not going to just go through one layer. I always go through both. It needs to be through both. Well, have a good day, Alice. I hope work goes quickly for you. I'll post in my stories what it looks like. But this won't really be seen anyways. So I just used one of these and then used the post or the backing from the others. And I even did that with the rainbow. And honestly, if you're trying to stretch your rainbows, you can do an inexpensive rivet on one side, you know, like a regular finish on one side with the post, and split these up so that if one side's not going to be seen, do that. It's a really great way to be thrifty with these, because rainbow is expensive. Crazy expensive sometimes. Okay. I'll put those over there for right now. All right. The way I test if it's hot is I just put my hand near it. So if it's here, I put it about here. If I'm here and I feel the heat, it should be hot enough. But you don't want to go any closer really than that. Yeah, I usually put it about 3 inches away from that. If you start to put your hand near it and you can already feel the heat, then yeah, it's good. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move things around. I don't like to have anything too close when I'm dealing with things of a burning nature. A tool, a reflex that I have thankfully had trained into me because of working in the kitchen is, if something dangerous if something's going to fall and you have the option of either catching the dangerous thing or not, do not catch the dangerous thing. Let it fall. Example, if you drop your knife, you back away. The first time Erin saw it, I dropped one of their more inexpensive butcher knives. I had planned on buying more anyways, but I was cutting and one of the roommates bumped me and I dropped the knife and he saw me like shoot back and he's like, "It's just a knife." I'm like, "Have you ever had a knife in your boot? Because it's not fun. It's not fun at all." So when things with sharp intentions fall, I back away. I don't try to catch it. I am not an assassin. I am not a ninja. I am not trained in the dangerous arts of being a swan from Russia. These are not the things I do. I don't catch knives. I dodge them. It's getting out of the way of dangerous. So when you're using something like this, keep yourself not too far from the plug so that you're not having to have it pull and you're not accidentally pulling out the socket, and make sure that you are keeping a good grip on it. Okay. Here's a good example of putting it away for a second. The D-ring isn't wanting to move. So I also need to go up here first. I kind of forgot. Because I usually like to go bop, 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 bop. Because you're not putting the rivets in. But if this can't move very well, I'd rather do this one first anyways. But the ring wasn't moving and I still had this in my hand and I had it like this. That's too close. I'm going to probably order some heat gloves anyways. I have some for my sublimation, but I need to think about those. So just like with any type of sharp tool, you're going to use about the same type of safety methods here. I'm making sure that I know where my fingers are. This is also why I use the tape. I want to make sure that it's not going to move. And because of that, I don't actually have to hold down too much. Right there. And you're just going to bop it. Move my face away. As you can see, it's smoking. It's going to do that. Okay, I'll move that up just in case. Make sure you're in a well-ventilated area. I do plan on getting a... damn it, I still got to do those, don't I? I do plan on getting a tiny fan to put... stay. I do plan on getting a tiny fan to put nearby that I can go ahead and put on when I'm doing this so that it's blowing it away from my face. Because as you see, it does not play. Right about here. Is that good? That's good. I know some soldering irons come with a little like wet sponge so that you can clean it as you go. I don't do that mainly because of the fact of how much stuff I'm putting on there. It's just going to destroy the sponge really, really quickly. So what I do is I actually let it cool down a little bit and then I chip it off with an old screwdriver. And it comes off really easily. Hang on a second. Woo! Safety first, my friend. he charged it. Or does it come with battery? Oh, that's why I got it. Okay. So I got this for my husband when he works with glue and stuff. I like him to push the air away. So now I just need to figure out how to turn it on. On, off. Press button for 3 seconds and then tap to change speed. Okay, so this is the way I want to wear it. And this way, because it's blowing out, if you turn it up and in, it'll blow the smoke in more. So this is perfect for me to push out that smoke, hopefully. We shall see. Okay, so I've got the holes made on one side. Here. Don't know how well this little fan thing is going to work. It looks like it's doing pretty good. I'm not getting like all of it in my face. Come on. There we go. Whew. Okay, so that's one of those done. I'm actually going to set that off to the side for a few because it'll finish burning up all of that. And I'm going to start putting rivets in here, mainly because that... Okay, where are you at? It's really going today. Okay. I was going to use him, but I think this will work just fine. Okay. Mainly, I need to make sure that they're actually going to go all the way through. I'm not a fan of such a short post, but I didn't have any more nickels. I thought I did, but I cannot find them anywhere. Come on. There you go. Here we go. I'm going to be very honest. My nails do not help this process. There. Nope. Dang it. Okay. Now, before I even look to do any of them else, I already know that I'm going to have to use the longer post for that. But we're going to press this one and make sure that it works properly. This is the one from Cam Snap. I have 2 of these. Come on. Ooh, really had to press on that one. Okay. Okay. If you give it a tug and it's not coming off, it is flattening. It is having to flatten them to really get that cap in, but that's fine. It's a flat rivet. They will do what I need them to do, but definitely will be buying others. It's probably why these didn't sell. Because I noticed them on clearance, but I saw that they were only 8mm. And I'm like 8x6s, and I was like, I don't know about that. I'm indecisive if I turn into a pirate because I go, Rrr. There be a decision to make. Here we go. They fit well enough, and they're staying. If they were popping off right now, like a lot, like I was putting it on and then it was popping right off, that means the post is too short. Do not use that rivet. It's not going to be able to seal it. I know sometimes it's hard to do that because you're like, oh, but I don't have any more. And crap, I'd have to wait. Like, I would have to wait a few days to finish this bag. I've got the holes done, so no, you don't. I'd probably be able to finish the bag and then just install rivets once I got them. Actually, still got you. Okay. Oh, did that fall out? There you are. I was like, why can't I find the post? Maybe this isn't a good one for it. Like, I definitely understand having to set something aside because hardware, it's a pain in the butt. But it is something that you would have to do for the safety of the purse and the stability of it. Half my problem right now is just my nails don't help this process. Especially these. Oh my Lord. Okay, let me just get another cat. And I have to be careful because I do start to get frustrated. And I'll try to rush things, and I don't want to do that. Nope, nope, you're not on there. Are you on there now? Maybe? Nope, I can feel it. All that was doing was pushing the dang rivet out. And I'm sorry that y'all are just kind of like at this point watching me struggle. There we go. I think I got it. Yep. Okay. So what I already know, because they're just barely fitting on there, is that I'm going to have to use a long post. With this thought process, I'm going to end up buying long posts just to have them. I remember one pattern. She said you're going to need long posts, and that's probably why I bought them. So it's not the same color. It's not going to matter. It's fine. It's black, so it'll just kind of blend in with everything. I don't think it's going to be that much of a like, oh my God. Oh, except that's where that came out. Can't believe that worked. Like, I'm still having to like push down. Where are you at? Here you are. Okay. I'm going to try to press this one real quick. I'm just going to do this whole side, actually. Normally, I would put them all in, but it has been quite the challenge. Okay. Woo. But because that long post was still going right up to it, it means that it at least means that it was connecting it. Whew. Okay. I'm really glad I did this one first, though, because it is definitely the challenging one. Of course, it's the challenging one. It has been. I am working on a modified Twilight Traveler by Scroll and Turquoise. I've taken the outside pockets off, and I'm just adjusting this part here is just about the same. I'm just adding I'm changing the D-ring so that I can add a handle on top. I just wanted one, not half the package. Sometimes these are so difficult to get out of their package. I don't know how you moms, I don't know how you parents deal with baby wipes. Because you're holding the kid, making sure that it's not taking a dive off the freaking board, and you're fighting with your package of wipes at the same time. So you're probably wondering, is she wiping the inside of her tiny no face? Because I'm getting a little nauseous, and it's probably from the smell of the heat thingy, the soldering iron. But I'm also a little hungry, so I'm going to put some cashews in my tiny no face. Because the salt will help me. When you go to my link tree, which is in my bio, it's got today's pattern. I do try to make sure that I update today's pattern every live, so that if you need the pattern, you can go pick it up that way. I don't like it when somebody doesn't make it easy for me to get to it. Like, why do I got to research this? Why do I have to have a physics degree to find a bloody link? Like, I know the Book of Face doesn't like when you put links in your post. So I put it in the, oh, you're welcome. So I put it in the comments. First of all, it jump starts it. Oh, I just need some more milk now. I used coffee cubes. I could make some syrup. Anyways, back to the fight. Being hungry also doesn't help my temperament. I get hangry. I get frangry, because it's more frustration than anger, really, especially in this case. There we go. Back on it. Like, I love my nails. I absolutely adore them. And 90% of the time, they help me sew. They do not help when installing rivets, though. Not in the least. There we go. That puts that out of the way. So there. I don't need that one. That's okay. I'll go for that. But I will need that. Okay. So if I can set myself up for a little bit of success, that's what I try to do. I'm going to try something. Where are you? Okay, that is sadly not working the way I would want it to. That could be the rivet. I'm also making sure, because part of the problem, I think, is that it's catching on the edge of the hole. There we go. Okay. Told you. Cashews. Save the day every time. Now, I have learned a lot about how to work around my nails for things like this. That did not work the way I hoped. And I think I will never see that cap again. Oh, there we go. Doing well, doing well. Where are you? Okay, I'm going to sit down the rivet because the last time I did that, I accidentally ate a rivet. Thankfully, they're very small, and I'm actually not kidding. No, thank you. Nope. Come on. I know you can get there. Mm. Doggone it. Why you gotta be such a problem, child? There we go. Okay. When it's thick material, then set it on a nice hard surface like the table. And you just push them down. Because you don't want to press these if they're not actually in there. It'll just bend the post and you've just wasted a rivet. All right. Doggone it. So it's like I'm not stressing really about losing a rivet cap or two right now. Mainly because of the fact that I'm going to be cleaning everything before I restart after the con anyway. So after most projects, I take a moment and like sweep and vacuum and pick up the 20,000 clips I've thrown on the ground. Probably a nut or two. Come on. Madre de Dios. Come on. Get in your home. Don't you like your home? Has anybody seen The Last Unicorn? Because Aaron was humming one of those songs the other day. And he laughed because I went through like the whole soundtrack getting ready for bed. Okay. Good Lord. All right, let's start with one. That one. Hey, Lefty. Movie was terrifying. Oh, I mean, the Red Bull was scary. Don't get me wrong, but we were talking about like if they did a live action version of it. He really wanted to see Lin-Manuel as Schmendrick, and I'm not hating that thought process. Like, I've been going through trying to think of who I would have for what character. Ooh, here we go. Here goes the big one, y'all. What's my weakness? Anyways. Okay. That felt satisfying. So try to get used to how rivets feel when you press them. You'll start to understand where one may be, where the post bends and stuff like that. But see, there you go. There's the inside. Barely noticeable on that gunmetal hardware. I'm going to set that over there. Take a moment and finish my nuts. You heard me. There you go. Alrighty, there we go. Okay. Now that's nice and clean again. Oh, Face is such a good boy. All right, let me get what I need out of these bags so I'm not throwing things across the table again. But if you haven't seen Last Unicorn, it is an amazing movie. I absolutely adore it still to this day. Nobody will ever be able to convince me that I am too old for cartoons. First of all, get up off my joy. I didn't invite you. I don't need that kind of negativity in my life. Okay, that should be all of those. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alrighty. Alright. Now, No Face can do his job. Because we still got to poke holes over here. Okay, still on. But I do highly recommend it. Probably my top 5 movies from my childhood. Labyrinth, Last Unicorn, Dark Crystal. Listen, when I was young, if it had a Muppet in it, you bet your butt I was there watching that. Jim Henson was my hero. I cried for days when he passed. I was inconsolable. There was just, my dad just finally threw up his hand. He's like, never mind. She's just going to be crying, apparently. You don't understand. He was such an amazing guy. He made Kermit. I was just, I was done. All right. So this is going through a lot easier, but one of my holes is missing. So we're just going to kind of give it a guess. I'll come back to those. Let me do the easy ones real quick. Check your backside, because I think that was one of my problems, is that the holes weren't quite big enough. Because when it cools, it's, especially with the waterproof canvas. In fact, I think I'm going to get some PPE masks to wear when I do this. Because that headache and everything that just suddenly came on, I know why it suddenly came on. It suddenly came on because I'm melting things. Right here. Ow, madre de Dios. That's usually why I keep this on until, there we go. Until I've got everything set, or at least in the holes. That way, if I have to round out a hole a little bit more, like this one, I can do that real quick. See. Okay. So now I have all the holes. Oh, goodness. Let's just say it's a good thing that my rivets hide these holes. Okay. There we go. Yeah, see how it's sticking out a little bit here? That's because I'm not using some mother-loving thick ass. No, you don't. Haha, caught it. I mean, that was some Sir Mix-a-Lot freaking webbing over there. It was thick. I don't think I'll have half the problems I had. I won't have as much of a challenge, I guess is what I should say. Because this works really well. It does. I love using the soldering iron for this. It makes it, oh, so much easier. You know, it's hilarious. I was actually worried that this all might be a little too thin. But there's a little satisfying click. Come, stop it. My rivet caps are wanting to go everywhere but where they belong. Just conform. It's fine. You'll be fine. Ugh, my nose keeps itching. I'm sorry. There we go. There we are. Nice satisfying clip. Now, I might not have to use the thick boas, but I'm probably still going to just in case. I've got them out. Might as well use them. Okay. No, you don't. Come back. Actually, yeah, that's good because it's just poking out. It's Groundhog Day and over here. Come here. Okay. Come on, you. Why are you fighting me? Are you actually okay? You're. I mean, I guess this is like a perfect example when some folks don't believe you when you're like, materials matter. I mean, I'm literally making the same bag, the same way, but with different materials. And I'm having a very challenging time and a not challenging time at all. So when somebody asks me, oh, is it easy? I don't have an answer for you for that question. Not the way you want me to answer it. Nobody likes my answers on stuff like that. And it's mainly because I was like, well, for me, with these materials, it's not challenging or not as challenging. But with different materials, I know it is. And they're like, well, I just wanted to know if it's an easy pattern. I don't know you. I don't know your skill level. I don't know how comfortable you are with certain things. You know, I'm super freaking comfortable with binding. Absolutely adore it. I will bind a bag until the end of time. I am a binding queen. But you might not feel the same way about binding. And that's perfectly fine. I really don't care. Oops, hang on. That would have been bad. Come on. Oh, that's fine. Small teachable moment. Double check where your ring is. Oops, thank you. Where'd you come from? Okay, I see. This is not where this needs to be. It needs to be in between those rivets. It's not. I haven't set it. So all I have to do is come back here. Pull that out real quick. And then move it. Had I said it, still wouldn't have been the end of the world. You can get them off. It's just a pain in the butt. And a waste of a rivet, which nobody likes to do. So, somebody asked me once, is the speed wheel hard? Okay, well, it's not for me anymore because of the fact that when I was first starting to sew bags, I decided, hey, this looks like a cool pattern. I made one. I'm just going to cut out 5 of them and do them all at once on a domestic, by the way. Oh, thank you. I want to be honest. There's no reason. Life is not 2 plus 2. You can't. That is a simple question that does not have a simple answer. There we go. I felt it kind of slide in where I wanted it. Oh, and I already did that one. See how much faster that was for that one? Now, here's the fun fact. If you had watched me just do that one, you would have thought right away, oh, it's easy. If you'd watched me just do the other one, you would have been like, oh man, maybe that's too hard. Maybe I will sew it. But seeing both of them, this took half the time as that. Because I didn't have the right material to make it less challenging. I'm still doing what I got to do. But this way, I think I can turn. Actually, I'm just going to. That feels kind of good. If that doesn't bother y'all, then I'm going to keep it on because I do kind of like it. Half the battle in bag making is your materials. You want to make an all leather bag, you better have the right tools to sew it, to skive it. I mean, then you might want to look at hand sewing if you don't have an industrial. It's going to be very difficult to sew leather on a domestic. I don't know how well that would be possible. I mean, somebody could prove me wrong, but just because somebody can do it doesn't mean you want to do that. You want to sew leather bags, do your research, get the right things to help you with it. You want vinyls, you can do it on a domestic. I sewed everything for the first 3 years of my bag making. I sewed on domestics. Oh my God, that feels nice. Okay, I may not love the thin webbing, but I kind of do with this. It's a little squishy, but the vinyl feels so soft. Petting. I'm okay, I promise. Oh, I'm going to need this anyways. Because now for the boning. Gotta get the boning on hump day. Oh, Lord have mercy, gravity, I hate you. All right. Oh, Lord, I just have stuff everywhere. And I just hit my foot, and that feels amazing. Okay. That's going to be fun. Okay. Boning time. Okay, so this is a polyester boning, 1/4 inch. The one you really want to make sure you get is the one that's got all the little holes in it because it can be sewn over. However, really don't want to put this in your gusset seam because you're going to be trying to bend it and then sew over 2 layers of this. It's not fun. It's really not fun. I do not recommend it. Like -5 out of 10 don't recommend. Do I have 4 ends? Nope. What about this one? There we go. Whoop. Oh, hang on. I've got to unplug the hot thing. And I'm not talking about me. Anyways, there we go. Yeah, see how it's got that white stuff on it? That will go, that I can clean off easily once it's cooled. It's just easier. I'm going to set that over here. Oh, okay, because you're playing soft. Here's a Okay. So I put the soldering iron away so that it won't get touching. Oh, I appreciate that. I try to when I worked at Disney, I was a trainer. And it is difficult sometimes because I had two kinds of trainers training me to be a trainer. And one of them said, treat all your cast members like they know nothing. And the other one said, treat them like they're stupid. And I didn't like the latter. Lack of knowledge is not stupidity. Stupidity is knowledge with absence of thought. Big difference. If you treat somebody like they don't have that information, you will be able to impart something more to them. Otherwise, you're just being an asshole, just so you know. And I had to really learn to school my voice because I never realized how flat I talk. Apparently, it's a thing with neurodivergence. So I was like, oh, you're like, yeah, I have resting bitch voice. It just kind of does that. And you can tell on the lives if I'm really tired, I'm not schooling it. And the reason are you live every day? No, I'm live on Wednesdays and Saturdays right now. Anybody with a Clock app subscription will be getting extra videos starting right after Dragon Con. I'm going to try to do some extra lives that way. Even if I only have one, she's still my favorite right now. Anyways, so I've always had to work really hard at making sure that, because like some people are like, oh, what's wrong? Or, wow, that was really mean. I'm like, what was mean about it? I was just telling you that if you moved this way, it would be, in my head, all I said was, if you move your foot that way, it'll be, you'll do less work. That's what I hear in my head. But what they hear is sarcasm, and it's so annoying. Not for them, for me. It's just annoying to me because that's not what I'm communicating. So I've had to really learn, and I will say between being a trainer at Disney, because when you tell somebody, no, that's not the right way to do that, but what they're hearing is, no, that's not the right way to do that. Why are you doing it that way? That's not very smart. That's what my voice sounds like normally. And it's my husband has put in effort to learn to really keep in his head that what I'm saying, and if I'm not using my what I call person voice, my active voice around him, he knows that's because I'm comfortable enough around him. I know he's not going to take it like I'm being a bitch. Not on the hot thing. Because I'm not. I promise you. I'm a delightful fucking person. Thank you very much. But I've just tried to work on the thing that he said when we first started dating, the first year that we were together. He was like, he said at one point, he said, if you get a chance, try to mirror what your emotions are. He's like, that's the only problem, is that you have joy in your voice, but you really don't. I was like, what? He's like, you sound like Eeyore sometimes. Oh, He's like, I'm not meaning that to be mean. It's just, I'm like, so I have resting bitch voice? He's like, yes. I'm like, oh, I'm like, I will go away with this information and ponder that. Right now, I'm just kind of melting these corners a little bit so they're not so sharp so that they'll go through the channel. And I'm just doing all of them. This way I don't have to think about it when I go to grab them. It takes like 2 seconds. Okay. So I have all my boning pieces cut. I do try my best to learn more bag making. Some folks just talk to for me to grasp the like talk too fast. Like I have music on, but I try not to put it too loud because I know that means you can't really hear me. Oh, so what I'm doing is right here, you should have a lovely channel that you can just poke your webbing or your boning through and go all the way to the other side. This is why, by the way, I didn't like base this on. It's so I can lift up this corner and push it out of the seam allowance on this side. I cut it about 1 inch to 1.5 inches shorter. Check this side. Perfect. Okay. Now the other side's a little more fun. You have a couple options. You can just stick it in there and then base this all together, or you can put some tape on it. Oh no, that's okay. Believe me, some of the stuff I type on my phone, every once in a while, I'll type something and my phone just throws out a word because it's like, listen, I don't know what the hell you're trying to say. Why are you so mean, phone? We're gonna use 1/2 inch. So I'm going to use some 1/2 inch tape. This does make it a little bit easier to sew it together at the end because you're not fighting so much with the boning. So it curls like this. This is the side you want up, which means I'm going to put this, I want to attach it mainly to, here we go, to the waterproof canvas. When I get overexcited, I too tend to start like rambling or talking too fast or, doing way more innuendos than should be allowed on any app. But all you have to do is be like, Liz, the fuck? I will, if you go WTF, Liz, I will go, oh, okay, sorry. Most of the time y'all laugh. Okay, so I have my pieces of tape on the curve. They're larger than the binding or the boning, so it'll be fine. Oh, terrifying. You find all of those terrifying, Lefty? Oh, she left. Drat. That's an interesting thought process. Find those movies terrifying. So I started doing lives on here because I was trying to grow my following in that. And I am doing my best to be super consistent with my lives because I am not super consistent with posting. To be fair, it's not super consistent with viewing, so I don't know what to do. I mean, there's a video of Charlie that I'm having to sew around his tail that has 4. I'm sticking to the tape. Help! It's really sticky tape. There we go. And now just kind of, it sticks really well to my nails. Okay. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to put, again, you want to make sure that your curve is going up. So the outside of your curve should be against the outside. So I'm going to put this kind of, here we go. No, that's not going to work. Here we are. Try to put it like about 1/8 of an inch away. Oops, that is not in the right place though. Again, make sure you're getting it out of your seam allowance. Okay, and then I'm just going to scooch that down, the tape, and then voila. Practically stands on its own. Before I do anything else, even the other one, I am going to put my zipper pulls on. I feel like I'm going to forget them and then I'll cry. I am an ugly crier. It's not these lovely gentle tears. No. There is sobbing and all of that going on, especially now when all the nerves are raw from anxiety. So I know I'm laughing, but it's not my unhinged laugh, so we're okay. If I start braying like a donkey, or as my husband described it, SpongeBob on crack, then we need to worry a little bit. All right. Now, when I install my zipper, I usually put, I'll show you, a little line across the teeth right here, and that's so I have something to match up. You look okay. When you're doing a double zipper, if it's not quite right, but everything is lining up nicely, you'll be fine, because it's going to create that little opening anyways. And I'd rather everything line up than be absolutely 100% concerned. Sometimes you cannot, sometimes it's really, really hard to concentrate on every aspect of what you're doing. So you have to choose. I will not be losing this. There we go. But that's why I make extra marks and stuff. It helps. Oh, I'm not wearing my glove, am I? I gotta remember where the darn thing is. I thought I found the other one. All right, let me find my glove real quick before Twilight sends the hounds out to me. I can hear them braying in the distance. Where did I put that darn glove? Oh my Lord, I stood up. I'm like a stuck pig right now. Okay. Woohoo, I found it. You know what's hilarious is I forget to put it on and I forget to take it off. So it ends up out of the room. Oh, that does feel good though. And these are my tension gloves. And the best thing about these is that like technically I'm wearing the left one on my right hand, but what I do is I switch them out because it does give me a different sense of tension when you wear it backwards. They're not ambidextrous, but I use them like that because it does keep it from stretching out in one way. Oh, that feels better. Oh, that does feel good. To be fair, I definitely would have taken it off when I was playing with melty stuff. I worry that it'll catch fire. I don't want it to catch fire. All right. Oh, good morning, Nicole. Oh, the grandkids are there. Aren't they back in school? I know many a parent that is celebrating that school is starting again. Okay, don't want to do that just yet. So, here we go again. What's the weakness? Phone name. That does not work the way I thought it would. So once again, I'm just going to go ahead and go through that channel. Now, if you find that you didn't quite make the channel enough, you can go behind your handles or not even put it in at all, or just put a little piece here. As long as the top part of your zipper has that boning, you will notice that it gives it extra stability. I have no interfacing on this. No interfacing on the other ones either. I just really like, I got to find a different word for this because at this point I just about said I just really like boning. There we go. Come on, just a little bit more. A bit more. The great thing about this too is that you can always cut it if it's too long. Putting it one side and it just keeps like coming out. Where are you at? There you are. Okay, actually, sorry, that means good. That means I can push this just a little bit further. Been thinking about doing a shorter set on these anyways, mainly because I do it for the whole zipper panel and it's a long one. It does kind of poof out there, but I think when you fill it up, it's not going to matter, and it is going to eventually. This is so that this doesn't do that. That bothers me so badly because watch, it pops back. I love it. Hi, Susan. This is the Twilight Traveler that I have done so many modifications for, but I do love the shape and I do love how she has all of this. I have done these pretty much to the specifications of the pattern. So she has a lot of pocket options. There's a 3D one, there's a double one, there's one on the inside. There's a single, a little double, and then there's a 3D pocket, and they're great. It's in my link tree in the bio. All right, now we get to fight on the other side. Telling you, man, the boning is worth it. Don't get me wrong. It's just sometimes a pain in the butt. Let's go here and here. Okay. I do need to turn the music up just a smidge because all I'm hearing is like, there we go. I need to be able to hear the music or it actually bothers me even more if all I'm hearing is a dum, 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 dum type thing. Okay, double checking. So we might be taking the, I'm going to try putting it out in a different way too. I'm putting the tape on the top of the curve instead of the bottom on the other side this time. So I'm wondering if that's going to be easier because this way, hopefully. Let me know if the music is too loud now, though. Oh, the pink glove, it's an arthritis glove. I have some stretching issues, probably carpal tunnel or arthritis. It seems like it's arthritis. So if I sew for a long, long, long time, it will start to ache really badly. Frozen? Yep. So I wear these because they're a tension glove. I do have two. I lose one and find the other. So, I mean, I'll take it. But Aaron wants me to buy an extra pair just in case, too. So, that's on the list of things after Dragon Con. Okay, I'm like where that other one is. So here's an example. I like where I put the end of this one. So I'm going to go ahead and just snip that off to match it. And then stick it down. By using the 1/2 inch on the 1/4 inch bone, the 1/2 inch tape on 1/4 inch boning, it means that I only really have to put it on one side and it'll help with it. So now I'm going to put my zipper pulls on before I forget. And then we're based and move on. Okay, here. Hold those for me, please. Things I got to put away over here. All right. Last two of those. That goes in the little savey bag. Get my little helper out. There, now y'all can see that. There you go. So I don't cut my zipper off when I put it in the gusset. I like having that little bit of extra. It gives it a chance to really not get pulled out. Yes. Make sure that's sitting nicely. You know what? We're going to go against the little one. Or is that just how it is? Here we go. Okay, so this one. When I put that on, it feels like it was a skewing. So I'm going to ignore my marks because sometimes things shift a little weird. Nope. This side. That might work. I'll be able to fix it. I don't like that, so never mind. It's skewing the zipper too much, and I can fix an askewed panel a lot easier. Because see, for me, that's a little off. Like this one's a little higher. So that kind of bothers me. But it's still lining up on the... Oh, madre de Dios. Hang on, sorry. Oh, that was lovely stabbing. Sorry, my foot decided to just let me know that it still exists. So when you're diabetic, you do have to really pay attention to your hands and your feet. Those are so slow to heal, especially if your sugar's really high, which I've been keeping an eye on it, making sure that it's not like astronomically terrible. Yeah, see, like this side lines up just right, so it's probably a cutting issue. Again, that's why I have like multiple points of contact for it. Okay, let's baste all of this down so that nothing moves. Trying to see how puffy my foot is. Yeah. Try to sew as long as I can, but all right, fine, we'll do this. I was trying to just bend the thread down and it didn't want to do it. I love how this gusset is created. Oh, sorry about that. I think you have to go to work now. Oh, I hope you have a great day. I hope work goes quickly. Or if you really enjoy work, I hope that it's just a good day. Remember, I always have the replay on the tubes, the TV app, whatever we're calling it these days, so the algorithm doesn't mess with us. What am I doing for lunch? Because I am hungry. Oh, the Chinese place will be open today. Yes. I'm so mad. Yesterday, I really, really, really wanted soup. And it's the only Chinese place in town that does this egg drop with wontons in it. I had never even heard of a wonton egg drop combo. And their egg drop, oh my God, y'all, their egg drop, so good. Do you have a YouTube? I do have a YouTube channel, indeed. It is also in the link in my bio, in my link tree. But their egg drop soup is fabulous. Mostly because I don't like egg drop soup unless it's boiling. Like normally I get it and I'll heat it up. And the first time we got it, my husband took it out of the box and was like, "Babe, you ain't gonna have to heat this up." I had to get my bowl cozy so that I didn't burn my hand. That's how hot they had it, and I was in heaven. And then I was like, "Let me try this wonton nonsense. What is this?" And now I don't know true happiness without it. So there's our first one. So isn't that nice? I keep hearing noise, but I think it's the fan. Now we're going to get this one. And now that encases everything. Now, you're going to end up having to fight with that boning when you bind your bag. It's not too bad of a fight. I have noticed it's a little bit easier when you keep it close to the zipper and you tape it down. So if you can let it run wild, but you're going to have to keep scooching it, and you're eventually going to want to throw the bag across the room. We've all had those moments. I judge none for looking at a bag and going, "I hate you," because we've all done it. All right, let me get this one down. Like, it keeps sounding like it's raining, but it's not. I'm literally looking out the window and there's not a drop of rain, and now I'm just confused. Is this all just a fever dream? My favorite thing is I see these random reels and stuff where they talk about things that I literally thought was a fever dream, like wuzzles. It's the fan. Yeah, it's got to be the fan. I get my boning on. I'm so sorry. I'm bunch drunk at this point. I get it on Amazon right now because you can get like 50 yards for a really good price. And as much as you might think you won't go through it, I'm down to the last of mine and I need to get more. Because you end up using, at least like on this one. Yeah, I mean, I used at least a yard right on just one bag. It's not expensive. It is, and I think honestly, it saves you money in the long run anyways, because like I said, with this vinyl and waterproof canvas, I don't worry about interfacing because I'm going to put the boning in there. My God, will somebody find a new name for this stuff, please? I am a 12-year-old right now. Yeah, I think I'm going to get some soup. Soup and dumplings. That sounds like, soup and fried dumplings. It just sounds like a really good idea. I'm not going to get the General Tso's. Did I put my zipper pulls on? I'm not going to get the General Tso's because I know I really shouldn't have anything spicy right now. My tummy is not in a good place. Well, it's not in a bad place. It's just there are some conditions that I don't eat spicy food. Even when I want some hot wings. My husband knows better and brings me mild. The boning? Oh, yeah. I got a piece right here, actually. And I do have it in my my Chubby Bunny Recommends Amazon's list. I know it's supposed to have like a storefront, I think. I'm going to have to figure that out. But this is the boning. You can see that there are little holes. And that's so that you can sew through it. I don't really recommend sewing through it, mainly because of the fact that where we're putting it, it would be here. So you would be sewing through it and then having to figure out a way to bend it. I accidentally did that, and your girl undid some stitches because I was like, oh, it won't be that bad. And then I went to top stitch. I'm like, and I messed up. That's just a little piece that's left over for right now. It'll go well in a long bag. You could put it in the bottom gusset, but I really don't think that the bottom gusset has as much trouble. Plus, you want an interfacing in your bottom anyways, because of the fact that this way you're not, let's see something, you're not giving a flimsy bottom. Oh, nice. Okay. I was just making sure. It felt uneven, but that's because of the way that the handle's sitting on it right now. It's because I tucked under a little more here than here. So wait, okay, so I've got those. Got that. It is 10 past 11. I'm going to go to lunch at noon. Oh, that's what I need to do then next. Okay. So now, finally, we can finish the gusset. Okay. Oh, love this. All righty. I'm going to set this one over here. Alrighty. Okay, so you can pre-base this if you want so that it doesn't move. I understand wanting to make sure that that works. Oh, I need to do that too. Doggone it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip on the sides, making sure they're nice and lined up. And on the top. Let's go. And I need to check something because I think I cut this the same time. Yes. Okay. So something I learned with the Elrich. Fortunately, it means that you have to cut everything just right. That's perfectly fine. I'm just going to make a mark. Saw you standing there. Now, I know that most of us have a similar problem with the gusset when it meets. When we put the bag together, there can be that little bulge. I've been working on making sure that I kind of cut out some of that so that it's not as bulgy. Okay, I'm just trimming that down for right now. I'm going to need this. Let go, let go, let go, let go. Oh, Lord. Okay, here we go. So she has you do certain measurements. I'm going to check something real quick. Because I did it on this bag and I just want to see if the binding covered. Yes, it is the fan that the rain sound is coming from. Because when I get real close, it sounds a little bit like a heavy rain outside. Just kind of messing with my head a little bit. Okay, so yeah, the binding covers it just fine. Woot, woot. Go over there. Okay, so I do a different seam allowance. That's why I needed to know if I needed to change anything. So I'm going to do. So I'm going to make a little square here with 3/4 of an inch. So I'm using 3/4, mainly because it worked and also because most of y'all do a 3/8 seam. I do a 1/4 inch and I didn't change any of the measurements. If you want a 3/8 seam, you are more than welcome to. I just don't like a super tight gusset. All right. So, got that. I'm going to take a little piece of tape. Come on, you. And it is going to be the weeest little bit of tape. I know that doesn't look like the weeest bit of tape, but it's because I got to trim it down. Now we have wee little bits of tape. And I'm going to put that right in this little square. No, don't you stick to my finger. There we go. That's why I'm using the tweezers. I'm going to take the paper off. Come on. Without tearing the waterproof canvas. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the corner to those lines. From one to another. Just going to press that down. Ta-da! Now, I always cut my inside gusset a little longer, and that's because most of the time, waterproof canvas does not stretch. You don't get really a lot of give in most waterproof canvases. This is a little thinner, so I might not have to do that per se, but we'll see. Okay, so that side's done. Let me go ahead and clip it now. So I've got my clips, and I'm going to take this. So what this does is this is going to eliminate the bulk on these corners. So I'm going to find, oh, there you are. And I'm lining up, I'm using my sides really. I'm not trying to find the middle or nothing. I'm just going to line it up with the sides of it. Make sure that I'm actually on there. It looks good. Yep. Okay. So that one's all set up. And set that aside. Okay. That's fine. I'm just going a little bit more then. So I'm going in a little bit more on this one because this is wide. Hey, Judy. We are still technically in the morning, aren't we? It just feels like afternoon. Like, there are times when I'm taking him to work, like I'm getting out of bed to go take him to work, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing nothing. When I come home, I'm going back to bed. And I have every intention that when I get home, I'm going back to bed. I don't want to go live. I don't want to sew. I just want to go back to sleep. I'm tired. But there's something about having the drive to work with him, and it's not even that long of a drive. It's like 15 minutes tops to get him there. So yes, it is 30 minutes pretty much. Well, yeah, because we leave at 5:45 and then I usually get home around 6:15. And I'm like, I feel a little bit better. So I'm gonna look over the clock app for a little bit. And I'll do that till 7. And then I'll be like, man, I'm thirsty. I need to get my drink. I need to get my coffee. I need my coffee. So I'll do that. I'll get my coffee. And by then I'm already heating up a breakfast sausage pancake. I love these stupid pancakes on a stick. It's just so easy to eat and still work. Wrong scissors. It's like, where has this been all my life? But yeah, by the time I like would go back to bed, I'm kind of awake. I really like doing the lives. I get to see some folks that are, talk to y'all that I haven't seen in a couple of days. Normally I'm doing a new pattern. So I get the excitement of doing a new pattern and Y'all watch me, stare into the void because I'm like, what does it want me to do? Let me double check, make sure that's not my hubby. Oh. Okay. Sorry. I've got everything else on Do Not Disturb so that I don't have to field phone calls and interrupt that. Yeah, so I get 15 minutes of very sleepy Aaron conversation. Get to check in with him a little bit on how he slept. And then I get 15 minutes of just blasting my tunes and being awake. And I guess by the time I get home, it's a lot of that sleep has left me. I woke up early, couldn't go back to sleep. Oh, that is the worst. So I started sewing at 4 before my kids woke up. Yes, you got some good. See, listen, if I'm going to have to lose time sleeping, I'm going to do something fun. And most of the time, it's coming in here and sewing. I didn't want to get out of bed. Oh, actually, one of the worst things sometimes is when I'm getting up, I always make the bed. So, making the bed. It's one of my coping tools. And I got to explain that to Aaron. Because he's like, why do you make the bed every day? We're just going to mess it up. And I'm like, I get that. And you're not wrong. We're just going to mess it up. But I will tell you this, we're not going to mess it up for like 12 hours. So, and I like seeing it done. The thing is one of the reasons why I make the bed every day is it's one piece of control that I can give my OCD. It's something that no matter what, I have control of this moment. And seeing the bed made creates a sense of accomplishment. Yeah, and I've noticed that it's most people that just they have a to-do list that they need to get done. Well, having that one thing done, you have already been victorious. I don't care that it's over the bed. Most of the time it's over the cats trying to move them so that I can make the bed. I'm like, what do you want? I'm like, come on, you lazy little buggers, get up. When I make the bed, Tiamat will get up from the bottom of the bed or from the foot part of the bed, and we'll go over and push aside part of the blanket so she can get a little under the cover at either mine or my husband's pillow. I'm like, you feel better? You feel like you accomplished something there, sweetheart? You got up? She's like, what do you? She's so silly. I love it. Okay, so I kind of wish it would rain. There are studies that show you should always make bed to start your day. Yeah. For me, it just, like I said, it's something that catapults my day already. I feel like I have a success. I already am winning. Let's do this. And the nice thing is that he didn't tell me that's stupid, that's dumb, it's a waste of time. He just went, okay, whatever works for you. So I'm trying to figure out something for him. I'd like him to have, I've been thinking about it lately. I'd really like him to have something of a daily win. I think everybody should have a daily win to start anyways. Oh, the hubby makes the bed. Nope, back to work, Twilight. Now, if you weren't here, I wouldn't be gloved, so I appreciate it. All right, let's do this. So I'm going to sew, I set it 1/4 of an inch. Where's my hump jumper? There you are. All right. When I go over that zipper, I pull on the teeth to straighten it out. I will tell you that it's going to sound weird. And I know it's going to sound weird, and I don't care, but it's kind of this ballet that you have to think of when you're doing, because you want to make sure that, like, I use a hump jumper here because of this, like I said, this Sir Mix-a-Lot webbing that I've got, because it's thick. And I didn't want any skip stitches on a construction stitch. So I have to think about that. Then I have to think about whether I want to go in the front. And then I've got to make sure that my zipper's straight. So it's kind of making sure all the moves are going to cooperate. Like, this has got a really thin webbing, so I'm not worried about so much about, let me see if that'll work. Okay, good. Oops, Nikes, sorry. I also wanted to make sure that I put my backing on in the right place. And I did. Mimi, over there for a minute. Alrighty. Work, so I'm going to do that. Pull that over for the moment. That came out nice. All right. Okay, so here we go with that. Pull that out. Now I'm going to go ahead and top stitch this side. You can wait to top stitch. That's not a big deal. Just going to roll that up so it fits nicely under. Oh. Yeah, that'll work. Like, see, I make sure that my lining is a little bit long, just a smidge longer after even I sewed this side. And I have zipper pulls, right? Yes, I do. Okay. I'm just so paranoid suddenly. I don't know why. All right. I'm getting to that thick, really, really thick, Nikes webbing. So I'm going to go, don't need that quite that side. There we go. So I'm going to use my hump jumper. And what that's doing is that's leveling your, morning, Monique. That's leveling this. So the one thing I twitch a little bit that she does on a domestic. She sews this on a semi-industrial, I think, actually. But she says she doesn't use a hump jumper. She just pushes down her foot. This is the only thing in the pattern I don't like. Please do not put your fingers near that needle if you can help it. I have pictures of what it has done to my nails. It destroyed one of my acrylic thick nails. So please do not put your hand here. This is a bad idea. My foot, by the way, is far away from the pedal, just so you know. So even this is making me nervous. But I mean, on a domestic, I guess you could get away with it, but I still don't like the idea of y'all putting your fingers near the needle. This is coming from somebody who has an injured foot because she kicked a box of books. Very hard and more than once, unfortunately. It's a little puffy, but it'll be fine. I'll put some ice on it again. So I'm just going to use that to go over that. That's Sir Mix-a-Lot freaking stuff. And then the hump jumper is just to help you level the foot. Okay, so I'm going to push that. I'm going to clip over here. Carefully pull that over. Oh, I have to order my soup soon. Now, I shouldn't need a hump jumper here, but I'm probably going to use it anyways when I go over. No, actually, I don't even think I'm going to need it at all. I'm serious. This thin webbing is very useful in certain places. All right. I have to remember to plug in this fan because Aaron might not get this too much often now. I really like it. I have a fan on in the room, but I get warm. Just gonna clip that. There we go. See, yeah, too close. Alrighty, ta-da! So now we have one side together. Over you go for a moment. All right, we have that. My bobbin thread's starting to kind of curl. Get a little piggy tail there. That usually means I'm starting to get close to the end of it, so I will need to keep an eye on it. It's most likely going to go out when I start to put this together. 11:30. Okay, we'll see what we can get done. I am going to... Oh, I did. Dang it. I forgot to clip my sides. There we go. Just clipping that down. I might still be able to do it. So I'm trying to remember to clip these corners down. I think I'll do it after the top stitching because I don't want to clip too close. I'm just trying to get some of that out of the seam and apparently all over my floor. I think that got some of it in the trash can. Hi, Britta. How are you? Oh, what am I doing? All right, now we're going to do the other side. Where are my clips? Generally, I clip with about 4 clips. And that's because I secure the sides, one on each side. And that means I don't have to move those clips at all. So it does help. I'm working on a modified Twilight Traveler, you know, my latest obsession. Because I love this bag so much. I did a different pocket on it. Here we go. Now I actually know where I'm putting this. And I really do think this folding in the corners like this helps a lot. I was concerned with the way I do my seam allowance that it might show up in the finished bag, but luckily it did not. Thank you. Aren't they so pretty? Look, this one's a bat. Isn't that the cutest thing? She put a little bat on it. Like, next week, I think we're going to try something a little cool because I want to do carpet colors, but I ordered water slide sticker paper that you can print on. So I might actually be able to do some of my drawings on my nails, and I'm losing my freaking mind over the thought of that. So the nice thing is, by the way, is that the gusset is about the same size as your zipper panel now. So there's no real weird bit with sewing. I got to quit hitting that light. Stay. Alrighty. Endless love. My endless love is Chinese food. Well, I'm just kind of trimming this so that I can place my lining a little better. Because I know I got lucky on the other side, but I don't want to I don't want to push that luck. And I'm also going to take a moment. I'm going to split those open anyways. But that's why we fold down the corners instead of cutting. This way, no, you don't. Sorry, one of the clips just took a dive. That way, if you don't quite catch it in your seam, you're still going to be able to cover it and not have to worry about it fraying. I'm just kind of clipping these corners a little bit. Anything to help that gusset sit straighter and without that weird bulge. I mean, we don't normally mind a weird bulge, but done. Okay, I'm gonna match up those corners. There we go. Clip the top, line up the sides. I'm only lining up the sides because this will assure that it's actually straight, that it's going to line up properly. Oh, good God, I am so hungry, y'all. I am going to have to order my Chinese soon. I'm just going to order the soup, I think. I really don't want a lot. I just really want that damn soup. Oh, but why I was mad yesterday was because I couldn't get the soup because they're closed on Tuesdays. And the moment I realized it was Tuesday, I thought I was going to kick a box again. I was so mad. I just want my soup. Why can't I have my soup? Do I ask for so much that I can't have just this little thing? You know, it's dramatic as I can be sometimes. All right. Once again, I'm doing a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Okay. Making sure that my zipper's nice and straight. Level the foot out without touching it. Again, I absolutely adore this pattern. I don't feel secure in putting my hand close to the needle if I can help it. I've already made that mistake before. Okay, there's that. Is that nice? Huh. Never heard of a group called Soap. I see it. There we go. It wasn't on this one, all right? No. Okay. Gosh darn it. This is why I hate having things on the desk. Okay. So I did go ahead and remember this time to clip those. Let's try to remember which side it's on. The back. So if it's facing me, it's on the left. Okay, so I just got to remember left. I'm actually going to take both of them off the needle. See, I need to figure out a way to have my fire stick up here because I did have it over here, so I got used to that. And now I'm having to get used to that. I moved it. And I don't know if I like where I moved it. Remember, don't cut your zipper. Don't cut down the webbing or your connector because that's going to be in there for extra. You can cut this down. I just went and cut it like exactly to it. But I noticed apparently when I was cutting, let's see if I can get that to focus. Apparently when I was cutting this, I accidentally cut the zipper a little bit. So what we need to do is seal that. So I'm just going to touch it with the blade. And also, I am a very conscientious person of how this could go poorly. So I am going to put a little bit of super glue along it and in the crevice If it was back here, I would just seal it and not worry about it. But I'm going to use the super glue a little bit too because it's too close to the seam for my liking. And then I'm just going to do this. Actually, I'm going to let that sit for a minute while I work on the other one. That way the glue can set. All right, so we've got the gusset. And as you can see, it looks kind of loose, mainly because it's not being pulled down. So I like to turn mine inside out. And remember, this is a round object. It's not flat. So you want to treat it like that. So I start with my seam right here. And I'm going to slide my hand. As soon as I get to where it's about to start curling, I hold this and I shift it. Because it does have a flat part. And then holding down because it's wanting to poof up right here. If it poofs up, you might have to start over. This is kind of letting me just like slide along. And that's so I can put my top stitching right where I need it. Right there. Oh, good. Yeah, I did notice that before I started really using a pumper on these thick spots. Get out of my way, please. That it would loop. And you want to make sure that you don't pull the humper out, the jumper out too quickly. Because if you do, then you're going to end up with those pop stitches, loopy stitches. There we go. What's in my head and I'm feeling peculiar. All right. I take a deep breath and I get real high and I swim the top of my lungs. What's going on? All right. So now, just making sure everything's kind of placed nicely. See, there's no curving or pop or puffing there because it's got the curves right where it needs to be. Now I'm going to go ahead and base this down, making sure that everything's lining up nicely. Because I didn't trim down the yellow one, so I do have some excess. And I will say, I do think I like trimming it after. That works well. Yeah, I think trimming it after works a little better. Okay. I just like getting rid of some of that bulk as much as possible. And doing that with the lining means that you can without having to do too much extra cutting. My great big kilo home for destination. Oh, thank you for following. Appreciate it. So I watched this one creator, North by North, I believe is his tag. His name's Adam, and he says he creates tiny nerdy things, and he does. He creates all these things. I mean, every once in a while, I think he needs a juice box and a hug with some of the stuff he creates. But he did because he uses like clay and stuff. He's really really good. Uh, and I was just watching him do a realistic Plants vs Zombies. It looks amazing, but it made me want to play the game again, so I downloaded it. It's been so long since I played Plants vs Zombies, but it's a fun game. I'll be tired of it in 2 days. I don't have time to really sit and play a game. And if I'm playing the game, I'm not concentrating on TV, so it doesn't really work out that well. Yeah, I think I like cutting after, not before, because see, here's the cut after. Still nice and thin, and here's the cut before. See, I've got this little piece poking out because I trimmed it that close and it didn't want to bend. So you do want to be careful when you do that. I think after helps, and it doesn't have that much of a bulk there, so that's good. But you do need a little bulk just because that's how it goes. You know, there's no way to get rid of all the bulk. You're just going to have that. But because of the way I cut it, it does look like it's sitting nicely in there. You've only got the double fold there. So that's good. So what I'm doing now, I've trimmed my gusset, right? On both sides. Yes, I did. So I trimmed out the gusset so that it's all nice and even. Remember, with a bound bag, the more even your layers are, the more this is like one thickness, the better. Because that's going to help you when you're putting your binding on. However you decide to do your binding. All right. Now I'm going to mark my centers real quick. And that should be enough time then to for the glue to dry on the other one. There's nothing wrong with using a little super glue in your bag, by the way. Anybody that scoffs at it, you know, bully for them. I'm so glad that that you're judgy. It's not that important. If you don't like how somebody does something, it's 99% of the time not going to affect you to not say anything. Or to say it in a way like, you know, I never thought to really use super glue in my bags. That might not be a bad idea, but I don't think I don't know if I foresee me using it. Or again, just don't say anything. It's fine. But I sealed that with heat, and now I'm sealing it even more with super glue. So I am fixing the issue and then adding an extra cushion on top. But there's that gusset. So it's going to sit like that, pretty much. So with that, like, see, that's what the boning does, by the way. If you didn't have the boning in this, it would not sit like that. It would just kind of flatten itself out and fall in, but it supports itself. That's better not to say. Yeah. Again, it's okay to not say everything that you think. If you're in a group with like-minded people, go for it. You know, if they're like, oh, I don't think I would ever. Well, first of all, don't use an absolute. Never and always are two of the worst words to me. I do not like them. They kind of give a finality. You know, I would never try this. I would never do that. Okay. Seems excessive. You can just let it go. It's fine. I do not like beans, but I have not said I believe that I would never eat beans. Because I eat my own chili, and I have found that Great Northern beans are pretty delicious, or pretty good. I use Great White Northern beans in my chili and garbanzo beans. I do not care for refried beans at all, though. I'm not sure what it is. It's probably a texture thing. It's interesting that most of the time it's a texture thing with food. Like if somebody doesn't like it, they're like, oh, well, the taste is okay, but I don't like how it feels. Well, that's just how it is. I like bananas. I do not like artificial flavoring of bananas most of the time. And I don't like anything but a green banana, like a banana that's got green on the tip and the top. That's the only way I'll eat a banana. Which my husband laughs because we'll get like super green bananas. And then in 2 days, he knows he's going to be eating half of those bananas. Because I don't like the texture of a super sweet banana. Now, I know, by the way, this is another thing about knowing your materials. I know that this is a very stretchy vinyl. So I don't want to tug. I want to guide. Mostly I'm just making sure, like the other one, I was just like pulling that thing. But I'm also not going to go too fast because I know it's going to try to stretch where I don't have interfacing. So I want to make sure that I'm keeping everything exactly where it's supposed to be. Where are you? So yeah, I'm glad to try out some of these things too for y'all. Because see, there's a little bit of rippling right there, and that's because that's where there's no interfacing. Using more of this vinyl, I would, like I said, I'm going to let her know that it's a good vinyl. It sews nicely. In fact, this is a great vinyl for domestic machines. However, I would definitely make sure that they know it has a stretch to it. If you need a project with no stretch, then you're going to want to put a little bit of interfacing on it. And I don't mean like a crap ton of interfacing. I just mean like some SoFuse Plus or something. What was that noise? Did you make a noise or did I just hear things? You okay? Okay. Oop. I'm going to do this. Hump jumper can go away for right now. All right. Got a little to trim. I was going to say too, when I say, it's better not to say with something like that you wouldn't use that because it usually comes out snobby to me, but that's, me. That's how I perceive it. But I'm not talking about the important things. If somebody is putting you in an uncomfortable position, do your best to try to say something. Why did I put those up? I need this, Here we go. So now I thought I had two still out. I guess I didn't, or they got blown off. All right, so I'm going to get this ready, but then I'm going to hop off. The rest of it's just the normal binding that I do anyways. I'm not in a place where I can stop and wait for the next live to finish a bag, mainly because I'm in just massive beast mode of prepping. I'm just trying to get as much as I can finished because Monday or Tuesday, I'm going to have to, more like Monday, I'm going to have to focus on making sure I've got things sublimated, which if you want that live, I can do sublimation on it. It's funny when he makes a different noise, Yeah, it's like, you okay? Huh? What's wrong, honey? Actually, most of the time we're like, oh my God, what's wrong with you? I don't have money for this, type moments. That's what it usually feels like. Um, yeah, so next Wednesday, maybe still a sewing day because there is a bag I still want to make, or it might be a cutting out itty bitties because I really want to take a bunch of itty bitties with me and just sew them at the booth. He said if I try to put one more thing at that booth though to do, he's gonna shake his head more. He doesn't know what he would do, to be honest. Because he knows it's a good idea. That's the problem. Oh, so this is the binding tape I'm going to use for Has Been. It's a gross grain printed ribbon, and I think it'll really match the vibe. And then I'm just going to use a yellow for the inside of this. I don't know if I have gray. I'm going to look. If I've got gray, I might use gray, but I like the yellow. It'll kind of block it off. But yes, I'm going to go get some food. I'm going to try to remember to take my glove off, because then I don't get a message from Twilight going, take your glove off. Put your glove on. The hokey pokey with gloves here. I'm going to remember to charge this. Oh, hang on. There's going to be a little bit of shaking. Sorry. It uses the same charger as my phone. So plug that in. I think that's that. That's plugged in. That's plugged in. All right, y'all. It's time for me to go get some food. I hunger. I will talk to you later. I hope you have a great day and a good rest of the weekend. So I will say goodbye. Bye. You can make it right.